bar stool.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like, just a bit
Oh,
higher.
yes, we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, they haven't thought about this at all. Yes?
Yep.
We
We've got
can't
no
see
screen.
anything.
Okay, just start.
Okay.
Opening the bowling from the city end, Lauren Bell.
Hello and welcome. Yes, we are at the Beckenham County Ground for this knockout fixture. It's a rare and innovative event. It's a knockout fixture between Surrey's women and Hampshire's women. I can bring you rapid news of the toss. Hampshire have won the toss. They've elected to bowl. Surrey have been put in, and this is winner takes all. You've got to win this to get through to the next round. It is a knockout competition. 2 games away from finals day. Surrey's openers are already out there. Paige Schofield and Kira Chatley. And we are almost ready to rumble on a beautiful sunny day. Some wispy Iceland-shaped clouds up in the sky. Kirstie White's alongside me. I'm Daniel Norcross, and we are almost ready to rumble.
Afternoon, Dan. Yeah, these are the first clouds I've seen in the sky for a long time, actually.
They're kind of unthreatening though, aren't they?
Oh, no, they're beautiful.
Yeah, and actually can be quite helpful when the sun comes around. So here we go, first ball of the day. Now, team news. It's a bit sketchy. We're going to bring it to you as it comes, but no Danny Wyatt-Hodge. She's gone off to England, as well as Sophia Dunkley. But Surrey do still have Schofield, who's out there. They have Alice Capsey, Alice Davidson-Richards, Tilly Coleman's back in the side, Stonehouse, McDonald-Gay, plenty of bowling. The batting will be slightly denuded by those call-ups. And Hampshire, of course, captained by Georgia Adams, with some big names playing. Lauren Bell is back, Kirstie. This is good news.
Well, it's excellent news for Hampshire, isn't it? I don't know that Surrey will be too impressed, but yeah, no, good news for Hampshire. Make a good competition today, absolutely.
The Shard, I believe, is her nickname. And this is just because she's tall and willowy, yes?
Well, I assume so, yes. Yeah, we can't actually see the Shard from here today, but
No, which is rare. You see most things in London from here. First runs, and they have been clubbed authoritatively out through deep mid-wicket for 4. That's a fine shot, a signal of intent here at Beckenham. Runs, well, there's usually plenty of them. We're playing on exactly the same pitch as that epic 346, played 346 tie from Wednesday, which was one of the games for the ages, where Surrey were kind of rescued from an impossible position by a combination of Alice Capsey's brilliance and then some superb lower order hitting from Alexa Stonehouse and Rhiannon McDonald-Gay. But what it tells you is there are plenty of runs to be had here, Kirstie.
oh yes. I was actually listening in the car, and when Alice Capsey got out, I didn't have much hope, I'll be honest. Oh, that's driven beautifully through the gap, just past cover point by Kira, so that's back-to-back boundaries there for Kira Chatley. Yeah, I'll say I didn't have much hope, and actually I received a phone call. I was listening in the car and I picked up the phone and I thought, oh well, this is not looking really great for Surrey here.
So you listening to the radio or the live stream?
I was listening to the live stream. Obviously, I couldn't watch it, but I was listening
We
to.
were on the radio.
I
You could have listened to us on the radio.
I didn't realise. I thought I'd get the viewing ratings up on YouTube. To be
Fair
honest.
enough. Okay. God, it's really again. That's 3 in a row, and that's been absolutely hammered. I can hear the noise when the ball hit the fence from around about 150 yards away.
That's got up nicely, and I think Kira's just picked that up off her shoulder length. She's kept her head nice and still, and yeah, pulled that round the corner. I will say Lauren Bell hasn't got the field set for that delivery for sure. Fine leg was up and inside the ring, so if that was a premeditated delivery, she probably should have dropped her fine leg back. But that's 3 boundaries back to back there for Kira Chatley.
Well, look, I understand the temptation to try to bowl short, especially when you're England's premier fast bowler. But as a rule, as the over comes to an end, 12 from it, 3 boundaries for Kira Chatley. As a general rule, don't bowl short here at Beckenham. You get absolutely marmalised.
I think you'd make a good bowling coach, Dan.
Well, I did have a word with Tash Farrant and asked her to pass that message on, because I got, look, can I say it? I got a little bit exasperated during the 3-4-6 because there's just no point. You might as well bowl a full toss. But you can set a field to that. You can't really set a field to short at Beckenham because the batters pick the spot.
Yeah, no, that is a fair point. So Lindsay Smith taking the ball from the Beckenham end to Paige Schofield. So hasn't faced a delivery yet.
And opening the bowling from the Beckenham
But yeah,
end,
going back to the
Lindsay Smith.
game on Wednesday, I had been on the phone and then I thought I'll pick back up and listen to the live stream again from where it had stopped, thinking, oh, we're not in a great position here, Surrey. And then obviously Alexa Stonehouse boundary straight off of their first ball. And blooming tie the game. I could not believe it.
It was extraordinary.
Oh my goodness.
With the 21 run over that Capsey hit off Kirstie Gordon was probably the point where we thought something weird might happen here. But then when Capsey got out, and I mean this with the greatest of respect, you do not expect the 9th and 10th wickets in a women's domestic game to be able to go at 10 and over. That's nicely struck first ball. Get through for a single, gets off the mark straight away. And it was just really impressive. Alexa Stonehouse at the back end of that. She hit 2 towering sixes. And Surrey needed, I think, 22, 23 off the last 2 overs.
Yeah.
I mean, it was miraculous.
Well, let's not forget that Alexa Stonehouse did open the batting a few times for Stars last season, actually, so she can definitely hold it back. She's got a few centuries to her name as well, Stars Academy-wise, and Kent, so she can definitely bat. And Surrey do bat deep, but it was impressive nonetheless.
Oh, now try something tricksy straight up. And it might go all the way. It will. It's biased. Didn't get anything on it, but once you play that shot, the shape gets awfully difficult for the keepers, anticipating the ball coming off the bat. You create chaos straight away, and to do that against Lindsay Smith, who will be buoyed by her call-up to the England team. You'd say she's a woman who's been pretty unfortunate to have her career. Oh, now that's close, but we can see straight. We're commentating from side on, so actually we've got the same view as the umpire, and that foot did not quite drag. Yes, I'm going to say that for Lindsay Smith to have her career mostly overshadowed by Sophie Eccleston. She's gone for the same shot again, which is moderately risky, but she's going to get a single for it. It's great for her to get back in the team, isn't it? And she's such a superb fielder, Lindsay Smith.
Yeah, she's a real impact player as well, and you always know what you're going to get when you give the ball to Lindsay Smith. She is so reliable with the ball, absolute gun fielder, and she's not bad with the bat either.
The all-round package, you might say.
Triple threat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, I think, look, there's been some speculation. I saw Ben Gardner talking in Wisden Cricket Monthly, or writing, I should say, Wisden Cricket Monthly, about the reasons behind Sophie Eccleston's exclusion from the squads. There'll be another single to complete the over. 4 byes, but plenty of singles in that. And Surrey advanced quite nicely to 20 without loss after the first 2 overs. And look, you could just take it at face value that Charlotte Edwards said that Sophie Eccleston's coming back from injury. She's only played the 1 game for Lancashire, albeit that she took 1 for 29 and scored a half century. And you do need to have match fitness if you're going to play international matches. But I think there's also just a little nudge there, isn't there, that someone like Lindsay Smith can provide much of what Sophie Eccleston does. She's a fine left-arm spinner, as we've said, a better fielder, and she's no mug with a bat. So, it's just a little reminder that there's a new coach, a new broom.
Yeah, it's a really bold decision to make first up in your first tour in charge, home tour, to make those kind of decisions is.
Well, it's a big one, isn't it?
That's a really big decision, yeah. And that's played very nicely down to third man, beats backward point. I think that's Ella McCacken, just slides around. They pick up 2. Really good run in there.
Now, Freya Davis, eagle-eyed watchers will remember Freya Davis, a veteran of many an England international. Out of favour at the moment, but forms part of what is a very potent Hampshire bowling lineup. And that's got through. Is it going to make it all the way to the boundary? It is. What a fast outfield this is, because she's done not a lot more there than place bat on ball.
Lindsay Smith has got a good hand on that as well, and that is still raced away to the boundary. Rihanna Southby coming up to the stumps. 12th is just running a helmet out, wanting to keep Kira Chatley in her crease here. And going back to your point there about Davies, she's been bowling exceptionally well this season. And she's bowled a lot here. Obviously, she was at Stars for a couple of seasons too, so she knows how to bowl here at Beckenham. But this outfield is very unforgiving. If you miss your length or miss your line, you will be punished.
Now, it's another gloriously sunny day here at Beckenham. We began the women's season with pretty much the only day of rain that I can recall in the last 6-7 weeks. You remember it was all mizzly and grey and freezing, and we're wearing coats. But for the most part, being here at Beckenham has been a sun-drenched experience on an increasingly parched outfield. Oh, that's beaten the dive, and it's going to speed away to the boundary. Another one, wides this time. 5 wides added to the total, and Surrey are off to an absolute flyer here.
I really like what Kira Chatley's done there, because bringing the keeper up to the stumps actually brings that ramp back into play, and where that was wide, it's asked a lot of Ree Southby to be able to stop that delivery. Obviously fine leg and third are up in the ring as well, so even if Chatley doesn't get bat on ball, you're asking a lot of your keeper to ensure that she can stop that. And Ree Southby is a fantastic keeper.
Well, it is a smart move, isn't it? Because, okay, if I can't move out of my crease, I can move the keeper.
Absolutely, absolutely. Kira Chatley's off to a flyer here as well. She looks good. She looks really good.
It's on 21 already. We're midway through the 3rd over. Goes on at that rate, you get 170.
Yeah, I was going to actually ask you, what do you think then, based on 50 over scores we've had here? So we've had 3-4-2 up in the late, in the mid 300s. What are we thinking here? What is going to be a par T20 score here?
Oh, it's given. Up goes the finger. Really brilliant work from the keeper there, standing up the stumps, whipping the bails off, and Surrey lose their first wicket.
Yeah, that's actually just bounced a bit more on Paige Schofield than I think she was expecting, and it's just beaten the outside edge of her bat. And as she's tried to rise with the bounce, I think she's just dragged her toe up and out of the crease, and you can't be doing that with Ree Southby behind the stump. So unfortunately, that's the end of Paige Schofield.
Well, it's wonderfully quick hands. Umpire had no hesitation in giving it. And, well, back to your question. I mean, obviously, it makes a bit of a difference when you lose one of your gun batters for just the 2 runs. But I don't know. I would say that,
Your next batter, Alice Capsey.
as Alice Capsey strives, look at the 33 over game, that first game that was bedeviled by a bit of mizzle and drizzle. 33 overs, Surrey got 243. So I think you're looking at around about 180, would you say, on here?
Yeah, sorry, I would agree. I think 180 to 200 will be par, really. I think anything north of 200, you've definitely got that scoreboard pressure. In a T20, it's a huge total just to wrap your brain around, even if you're at Beckenham. But yeah, I do think north of 180 is definitely what Surrey will be aiming to put on the board today, 100%.
Yes, it's a weird thing, isn't it? Scoreboard pressure you mentioned there, and that is an important aspect of the game. Surrey tied, chasing 346, and you would argue that with quite a lot of their big guns getting in and getting out, they probably left a fair few runs out there. Had they batted first, they might have got 370, 380. But it's that fear of the chase when that rate gets up to 10, 11 and over.
Yeah, 100%. Just change of bowling here. Looks like Lauren Bell's back into the attack at the Beckenham end. So Georgia Adams just changing up her bowlers, not letting batters settle.
That's been worked away beautifully. It's going to be another boundary off the legs. Lauren Bell she's a little bit rusty here, just coming back into the side after injury. She's taken for 3 boundaries in her first over. And that one, just on the legs, is worked away beautifully by Chatley.
Yeah, not overhit that either, and she's picked the gap perfectly. So square leg is just on square leg. So they're on the umpire's left shoulder, and fine leg is within the ring. So she's managed to tuck that around the corner and pick up 4 runs really nicely there.
Oh, I say, that is a shot and a half. Virtually went all the way. It was around about a metre or so inside the rope, but this is fabulously decisive batting from Kira Chatley.
I think she's had her Weetabix for breakfast, hasn't she? Wowzer. That sounded stunning off the bat.
Didn't it? Our monitor's not had its Weetabix, I can tell you that. But things might be about to improve. Well, that's gone away for another boundary. Goodness me. Nicely riding the bounce and guiding the ball down to the boundary as a gentleman with a naval hat walks past.
Yeah, that was poor from me. Sorry, Dan. I've completely distracted you there. We didn't watch any of that delivery and just saw the ball racing away because we were distracted by said naval hat.
It's easy to be distracted, actually. He's in company of a tall blonde woman and a youngish girl. He looks like a salty old sea dog to me.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Now, Chatley just has to be a little, I say she has to be a little bit careful. I'm not going to tell her how to bat. She's batting absolutely beautifully here, but she's in such good nick here. And the temptation can be, can't it, that rush of blood. She's in a couple of 4s in this over. And yes, you want to go hard in the power play, but...
Yeah, Lauren Bell just resulting to that slower ball then. She does bowl a very good slower ball cutter at the back of the hand as well. But
oh no, that's to be a wide. I would think that was very high over the batter's head. It is. It's rather lovely, isn't it, being in this position, because we can't actually tell whether it's a wide or not.
I was just trying to check the signal there. I couldn't tell if she gave that a wide because she didn't turn to signal to the scorers, and I couldn't tell if that was a no ball or a wide.
I
The
know, but
square leg umpire indicated it was a wide,
It
but
did.
actually the bowling end umpire that's just completely evaded me has
Yeah, there you go.
signalled a no ball. Or was that a wide?
It was a wide.
Oh, thank you. Sorry.
She's just signalled it. She's listening to you. Another slower ball. And that probably is the way forward on a surface like this. It's such a good pitch that, you know, we've said it so many times here at Beckenham. Don't bowl it short, even if you can get it up around about chest height. It comes through beautifully. Praise be. We can see.
But whatever Lauren Bell does do here lengthwise, she has to bowl straight. So she now has a cow corner, effectively, and a square leg.
She does have protection out there. Deep backward square leg. .46 for 1, 4 overs gone. A rollicking start. The wicket to go, that of Paige Schofield. Brilliantly stumped by Rihanna Southby off Freya Davis. Fabulous bit of glove work. But it's been boundaries galore. A little bit of loose bowling.
A bit of loose bowling, yes, but I wouldn't say extraordinarily loose in terms of wides and extras. It's definitely not been that kind of bowling performance, but Surrey have just been jumping on any sniff of width or missed length. They've been absolutely punishing Hampshire here.
Well, we should explain what this tournament is, because we didn't have a lot of time before we went on air to explain. As Chatley gets that away again. It's another 4. She has had the bulk of the strike, it's got to be said, but 38 off 21. She's absolutely racing away here. She might have 50 before the power play's up.
She swept that beautifully as well. Actually just stepped outside her off stump just to create some room. She's seen that square leg is in front. Oh, actually, sorry, no, there's not even no square leg at all. So very intelligent play there by Kira Chatley. Smith has left that open still.
Sort of long on and a deep mid wicket are our 2 boundary riders. Yeah, so there's a lot of short form cricket being played in the women's domestic scene. You've got the 100, let's park that. That happens elsewhere. If you're of a Surrey persuasion, then... Oh, now then. That has been absolutely larruped, and it might have gone all the way. Wait to see. No, umpire signals 4. That was close to breaching the rope. What have you seen there?
Well, Capsey's not faced a ball yet, and Kira has... Well, I don't know how many runs there are in this partnership, but they're all from Kira.
They are all, yes. 42 she moves to. Surrey going at 2 runs a ball at the moment. And now she's gone through square leg again. There isn't a square leg. It's going to be 4 more. Good grief.
I'm struggling to see what the plan here is from Hampshire, because they have no boundary riders outside the ring on the offside. Now we're still inside the power play, so you can only have 2 fielders outside of the ring. However, there is no fielder. One is now being placed at square leg, but there was no fielder between deep mid wicket and short fine leg.
So square leg has now gone out. Long on has been moved round to a straightish deep mid wicket. Mid on's come up inside the circle. This feels like a better field for me. And she takes the perfect option to go up and over, mid on and mid off. And she brings up her half century off just 25 balls. An absolutely pulverising display from Kira Chatley. This has been wonderful to watch.
So I think that was the 5th ball of the over, so 4.5 overs have gone.
50 for Kira Chatley.
At a strike rate of 200.
11 balls.
Capsey has scored 0 off of 0. And Chatley is on 50 from 25.
She's also faced 25 of the 29 balls to be bowled. If she can keep on nicking the strike, she's on for a double 100 here. I'd have no idea what the highest score in women's T20 individual score in women's T20 history is. I don't want to put the mockers on her, but she's going to pick up 4 more here, I think. Well, I never. 5 4s off that Lindsay Smith over. Let's be absolutely clear who Lindsay Smith is, right? Lindsay Smith is a very, very fine bowler indeed, who has been called up by the England team, and she has been taken for 5 boundaries in 6 balls here, and basically manoeuvred all around the park. Now, it's a nightmare bowling in the power play at Beckenham, I get that, but the brilliance of that is we've had 2 thwacks through square leg, 1 over wide mid wicket, 1 over deep square leg, and 1 reversed paddle. I mean, it's every shot in the book.
I don't think there's respect here being given to Lindsay Smith. There's none of it. No respect is being dealt. But I almost feel as though Kira Chatley's having an out-of-body experience.
It feels like that, doesn't it? I mean,
I feel like I'm having an out-of-body experience.
People talk about being in the zone, don't they? But she seems to have found this zone from the moment she walked out to bat, because I mean, the first ball she faced, she went after it.
Capsey to face her first delivery. Punched nicely out to deep cover. Change of bowling again, so Freya Davies is now bowling, has replaced Lauren Bell from the Beckenham end.
Yeah, let's be clear about that. Your screen will tell you that it's Lauren Bell still, but there's about a 4-inch difference in height, probably.
Yeah, just a small difference, but Freya Davies is fairly tall. but Lauren Bell is the shard.
Oh, that is deliciously played by Chatley. This just, I'm running out of words to describe this innings because I don't think she's hit a 6 yet, has she?
I don't think she's hit a 6. I don't know if she's run a 1, and I think there's maybe been a 2. I think it's just boundaries.
I'm trying to work this out. Is this, has she hit 14 boundaries out of 27 balls?
I think 13.
13. Well, that's basically a boundary every other ball. At the moment, you cannot bowl to her.
Yeah, I don't know who's going to bowl the next over, but I feel like someone might be hiding behind an umpire somewhere saying, "Don't pick me."
It might have to be the skipper. Now, she might be in trouble here. No, it just evades the dive. And then it squirts and skews away down towards the deep backward point boundary. There was 3 there. Capsey, though, sent Chatley back. But somehow she's made it to 60 and we're not out of the power play yet. If Hypercourse, are you listening? Hypercourse, what is the highest score by a person in the power play in any form of women's T20 cricket? Because I don't recall ever seeing dominance like this in a power play. Oh, you're joking. It's another one. Back in her crease. Thrashed away. This is just remarkable stuff.
Current run rate just under 14 per over, which is absolutely outrageous. 77 for 1 inside the power play still.
And let's be clear who's bowled those overs as well.
Oh.
Freya Davis, Lauren Bell and Lindsay Smith. 3 England internationals. Now, just for once, she's just going to get a single, but with only 1 ball left in the over, she'll probably be happy for that. Well, she's going to finish on 65 at the end of the power play. And well, I cannot recall an innings like this in a power play.
So yeah, Kira Chatley has hit 14 fours so far and has a strike rate of 220.
Oh, and now Capsey manages to invent a fantastic shot up and over fine leg to finish the power play. 16 off the over. Surrey are a barely credible 82 for 1. Paige Schofield will be thinking, come off it. The one batter to be out. Kira Chatley finishes that power play on 65, Capsey on 5. She managed to face 30 of the 36 balls bowled, but nonetheless, this is an absolutely supreme performance.
Do you think Alice Capsey is standing at the other end thinking, do you realise I am Alice Capsey and I probably should be facing a few more deliveries? However, I will let you off on this one occasion.
Yes, can I have a go, please?
Okay, so that's the end of the power play. So 4 fielders can now come outside the ring, and as such they have done. So we have a deep square leg, deep mid wicket, long on, and deep cover as Bex Tyson is dispatched over the top of mid off for 4 with her first delivery in the competition.
Goodness me. Well, it's the intelligence of this Kirstie that's getting to me. I mean, what is the feature of Chatley's batting here? It's not just been, look, she's hitting the ball well, she's timing it well, of course, she's getting it away to the boundaries, but all of these shots come with thought and premeditation. She's seen that mid-off is up, so that's where she's going to go. Deep mid-wicket's back, deep square is back. It's a deep cover. And so you can see what she was trying to do there as well, because fine leg is up, so she's just trying to squeeze it past the left-hander fine leg. For once, she doesn't get anything on it.
I'd be interested to see how many dot balls have been bowled actually in this innings.
She didn't quite get that as fine as she would have liked, but she'll pick up another run. And somehow finds herself on 70. We haven't come to the end of the 7th over yet.
So this current partnership of Kira Chatley and Alice Capsey is 49 runs.
Well, so there is the 50 partnership, of which Alice Capsey has faced 3 balls and scored 6 runs. Have you seen anything quite like this?
No, but I never want it to end.
Now, has she got enough on that? She certainly has, and I think that's gone all the way. I think, is that her first 6? It is.
We spoke a little bit about the intelligence around Kira's batting here. So the first ball of the over she hit over mid-off for 4. Now that is a really difficult shot. The ball is spinning away from her, so you know she has to get to the line of the ball and actually guide that over the top. But what's happened is long off has now gone out, mid-on has gone up, and she's hit it over there instead. As she moves to 76 from 34 deliveries, score is 94 for 1 from 7 overs.
Okay, so when I said I thought that 180 was par, I sort of still think it probably is par, but at the moment Chatley's making 220 look par here.
Dan, I'm feeling a bit giddy. I don't know. I can't really control myself. I feel like I'm going to
Attack of the Vapors?
The giggles. I don't know. This is just bizarre. And I know there are some people that are very anti the 100. However, Kira Chatley, I don't believe has been picked up yet for a 100 team. I think after today she might be.
Are you saying this might be a come and get me plea, as they
well,
say in football?
Yeah.
Well, Lindsay Smith is back in the attack, and her last over was taken for 5 boundaries. She's now put into Capsey, which may be a relief. But she won't be for very long, because that single will put Chatley back on strike. Let's take a look at this field. So, fine leg thirder up. So there's somewhere where she may look to exploit. Mid on, mid off. Oh, so long on, long off, and deep mid wicket back, and a deep square leg. And so she goes up and over, backward square leg for 4. This is just a masterclass. I'm running out of words for this. It goes to 80. And again, it's just, it's the smarts here. She's looked around, she's gone, well, if I'm going to get it straight, it has to be 6. And I think the Shard's actually at long off, isn't she? So, you know, you've got to hit a big 6 to get it over her. And having taken the 4, she'll take a single. So where does she find her boundary? And the answer is simple. You've either got to go up and over extra cover, which is a tough shot, or you move across your crease and try and manipulate it through deep backward square. It's a bit of a Q ender, that, from Capsey. Well, I don't know what Capsey's thinking at the other end here. I mean, if I were her at the moment, I'd be thinking, let's just got to get Kira on strike with 100 up inside the 8th over. Now that's
wow.
huge. That's gone miles. Up towards the hedge, up towards the tent, and another 6.
Well, it's lucky Crystal Palace are playing in the FA Cup this weekend, because that was landing in their training ground. And I don't think she's going to take a single and put Kira on strike. That's very anti-Capsey, that. So I think
Yes.
she probably heard you and thought, no, absolutely not. Don't be so ridiculous.
Well, yes, absolutely. She's saying, hang on, who's the one who plays for England here? Well, Lindsay Smith's also wondering that. That's flatter, but it's straighter, and it's 4 more. Goodness me. 16 off the over. Lindsay Smith has gone for 40 runs in 3 overs, and Surrey after 8, yes, I did say that, after 8 overs are 110 for 1.
Yeah, so the 100 was brought up and passed before we even had a chance to acknowledge the 100. So yeah, Surrey's 100 coming inside of 8 overs, 110 for 1. Now, I don't know if I would fancy bowling today. What are your thoughts here, Dan? Do you think Hampshire are bowling particularly badly, or do you think this is a belter of a deck and there's just runs to be scored?
I think it's more the latter, but you've got to give credit to the way Chatley and Capsey latterly have approached this, because it's all very well the pitch being good, but you've got to take the right options, and those options aren't always obvious, nor are they always easy. And so they come freighted with a huge amount of risk, and Chatley's taken those risks and they've come off. Now, how far's that gone? That's gone for another boundary.
This is spectacular. We've just seen Susie Rowe walk past the stream.
I've got to say, I'm finding it rather an out-of-body experience, really, watching this. It's almost like, you know, I'm wondering if I've woken up.
I kind of want to see a dot ball.
Well, that won't be a dot. That has gone, well, almost onto and beyond the covers. That is a massive hit. It wasn't a great ball from Georgia Adams, but I suppose there's going to be a degree of kind of, well, not exactly panic, but shell shock setting in here for the Hampshire bowlers. They are top place side in the Metro Bank One Day Cup. They've won 6 out of 7. They are not used to finding themselves staring down the barrel of 121 for 1 in 8 overs. And I think that might have found the gap as well. It has. Well, every ball at the moment is just being dispatched at a boundary. 125 for 1. We haven't had 9 overs yet.
This is a fever dream. Capsey is 31 from 10. Anything you can do, Kira, I can do better. But I go back to your point there. I think bowling has now been well and truly disrupted. You know, line is and length is just all over the place here now.
Yeah, Hampshire desperately need a wicket, don't they? Because at the moment they're bowling with scrambled brains. I mean, for the most part, I think they bowled roughly where they wanted to. They may not have had exactly the right fields, but Chatley's manoeuvred them around, pushed them around. But now they're in a position where they're looking at the scoreboard and they can't work out what's happened. Oh, and a rare miss stumping from Southby there. I mean, she pulled off an absolute blinder to get rid of Paige Schofield. Another reason why Schofield might be feeling ever so slightly aggrieved. That one was simple, and she's fumbled it, and Capsey survives.
Well, I think when the luck's on your side, it really is on your side, isn't it? And you would have put probably your house on Southby taking that stumping. It was a take and break. Quick of delivery from Georgia Adams, but I think one thing to note here is if you are a Surrey batter waiting to come in, you're probably licking your lips, but you're in danger territory there, because these two could probably be setting you up with a bit of a false sense of security in terms of the fact that they just look like they're having a net. This just looks like, you know, we're going through the motions in the nets.
Oh, now that'll be a no ball for double bounce. And that's not how Harman wants to start, because it's the sort of thing that can put demons in your minds. It's also going to provide Chatley with a free hit. Now, where's that gone?
It's drilled through extra cover there. Lauren Bell's got no chance of picking that one up. I don't know if Nancy Harman has actually bowled that much in any of the competitions so far this season. So the pressure is really on her to pull something out of the bag. But also, I think the pressure's kind of off, in a sense.
Well, she had 3 England bowlers, and Georgia Adams, for that matter. Oh, that's been drilled away again. Chatley's up to 90. She couldn't get to 100 inside 10 overs, surely not.
Dan, I don't like it when people say silly things like that. Whatever happens now, this is on you. That's a 100 partnership. I missed how many balls it was, but that, well it can't be more than 30, can it?
35 maybe,
35?
I reckon.
So records are being set today, and I think you'd be hard pressed to break them.
She's basically able to pick a spot there, and that's going to run away for another boundary. I mean, is this a case really of bringing Harman on because you've tried the 3 plus Georgia Adams, 4 England options, they've gone everywhere. You're thinking sometimes, and you know, Golden Arm, just mix it up. Somebody they won't have faced, just that sort of thing, just to try to get inside the batters' heads.
Yeah, and even there, that should have been fielded by cover, and it's gone straight through.
Oh, and is that another miss stumping? Trickier down the leg side, but, well, your heart's in your mouth if you're a Hampshire fielder at the moment, because we've got to get rid of one of these teams, preferably. Well, that's going to be a no ball. For height, it's a beamer. She'll be warned as well, and it's presumably a free hit.
Now, I think a free hit will be exactly what Kira was hoping for here when she's on 94 and feeling a bit giddy already. I'm sure this will just settle her to think I can put this anywhere in the ground and it doesn't matter. I'm not going to get out, but it's runs on the board for me.
Well, it's not going to be the 6 that takes her to 100. It'll be the single that takes her to 95. So she's not going to get to 100 inside 10 overs. But she is still just one brutally meaty blow away. We've had 15 runs in this over. This ball will mark the halfway point of the innings, Kirstie. Capsy there decided that, you know what, I want a bit of the action. So she's taken the very easy single option rather than trying to larrup it into next month. We're halfway through the Surrey innings. They're 141 for 1. This has been thrilling, bizarre, exhausting. I mean, if this is how you start a 50-over game, but the sky's the limit.
I think that's probably the only saving grace here for Hampshire, knowing that they've only got 10 more overs to endure. Because if it was a 50-over, I think there might have been a few hamstring injuries appearing left, right and centre. And what's key to note here, I think sometimes when you're playing in a T20, you have a really big power play. So I think over 70 runs were scored within the power play. Run rate was around 14. The run rate tends to drop off, but it has actually been maintained here.
Kelsey's got that away through mid-wicket. It should be cut off. It is actually really well. That's a good bit of fielding. They thought about a second that was probably on, but Chandy's happy to keep tight, keep strike. I don't know how you make a highlights package of this, so good luck to our editors. That's clever bowling. She's seen Chatley move across her stump and just followed her outside the off stump.
Yeah, Hampshire using their 7th bowler here, so this is Mary Taylor. Yeah, that's a really good point actually, because, well, the highlights package will just be boundaries, because I think you'd probably omit the dots and the ones. But even then. Oh, that's stunning.
Well, now that.
Oh no, is it? Oh, that's.
Oh,
a great
that's
catch.
really well taken. That is brilliant catch, as that was swirling around. There's a bit of a breeze here, and that is magnificently taken by Lauren Bell running backwards, and then she had to put the dive in. So Chatley's not going to get a century, but, well, as good as an incredible 95. You could see the idea. Mid-off was up, and look at this catch here, because, you know, at no point was Lauren Bell in control of that.
95 of 47 balls.
She deserves a standing ovation, but
The bowling of Mary Taylor.
the deck chairs are just a little bit too comfortable, I think, for people to get up and out.
That's outrageous. Raise the back, Kira. Come on, girl.
No, I think she's absolutely devastated that she hasn't got 100 there. But goodness me, what a knock that was.
That was a fantastic catch from Lauren Bell. Those are some of the hardest catches to take in the game. So slightly spinning, bit of a breeze, over the shoulder, so you've got absolutely no idea where you're lining up. So to hold on to that, even when she's gone to ground as well, is a really great effort from, I think it's fair to say, not the strongest fielder on the team. So hats off to you, Lauren Bell. That was a fantastic catch.
Yes, I mean, when you watch her in the international arena, she's a little bit unfairly pigeonholed, isn't she? As a sort of like a non-fielder, stick it down at fine leg, that kind of thing. But that, I tell you, was a very, very tough catch. We're pretty close to the action. We're very close to the action, actually. We're about 20 yards away from the rope at ground level. And I tell you, if I'd been out there, I would have stood no chance.
The wind was being a bit mischievous as well. It was definitely swirling around.
Now this is just a chance here for Hampshire just to restore a bit of order. It's been a good over from Taylor. She would love to finish this off with a couple of dot balls. And just restore a bit of order, you know. I mean, 180. He's only 38 runs away. There's 9 overs to come after this. Oh. Now, Rihanna Southby is just going through a bit of a phase at the moment. She's pulled off an incredible stumping, but she's just looking a little bit discombobulated behind the sticks at the moment.
I feel like that dipped. It had all the potential to be a no ball, and actually it's kind of gone through around Rihanna Southby's ankles there. Yeah, she's in a bit of a rut, needs to come out of this, I think.
Oh, straight down the throat of long on. And Jones has come and gone. So Taylor has picked up 2 wickets in that over, just the 1 run from it. Surrey started at 141 for 1 after 10 overs, and they finished at 142 for 3.
Yeah, unfortunate there for Jones. She is a power hitter, clears ropes. It's her first game in a Surrey shirt, so she would have been hoping to make an impact. Had gone on loan to, I believe it was Glamorgan, and scored a century in her first game over a less than run a ball. So disappointment there for her, but plenty of batting still to come for Surrey. I think this is Phoebe Franklin comes out to the crease.
Still no sign of ADR. She's
And
playing
Jones
today.
out for a duck, caught by Abby Norgrove off the bowling of Mary Taylor. Your next batter, Phoebe Franklin.
And this can be a little bit awkward now. If you're coming in after you've seen 141 runs scored in 10 overs, then you feel you've got to continue at this pace. Now, it's just possible that Kira Chatley and Alice Capsey have produced a partnership for the ages. And you've just got to get a little bit realistic. With 9 overs to go, you want to target, say, well, 220. Because 220 is a big score in a women's T20 match. It's a big score in a men's T20 match. It's notwithstanding the pitch and the conditions and whatnot. So you just want to give yourself a chance, get yourself in, build a new partnership. Because there is a danger of an innings falling away after such sort of chaos and mayhem.
Change of bowling at the Beckenham, Claire Davies.
Yeah, so Nancy Harman not being given a second over. Capsey's only faced 14 deliveries, so she's 33 from 14. So she's still, although she's been at the crease since I think it was the third or fourth over. Yeah, she has actually only faced 14 deliveries, so she's not seen too much bowling.
And that can be quite frustrating, can't it? Now this is dangerous, but it's going to land safely in front of the on-rushing extra cover. Just not quite capable of getting into any kind of rhythm, but so far hasn't really hampered her. As you say, 34 off 15.
Yeah, and it feels as though Hampshire have finally realised that actually if we bowl length and have our straight fielders out, we might just take a wicket.
2 wide from Davis. Haven't seen too many in the way of wides. Actually, there was a 5 wides. It was almost created by Kira Chatley moving across the stumps and trying the ramp. The bowling hasn't been overly indisciplined. There was an unusual over, one might say, from the Beckenham end.
Yeah, I don't think the unusual over will make the highlights reel.
Yes, I fancy not. But the problem is, for this highlights reel, if you're going to get all the wickets and all the boundaries in, you're going to have quite a lengthy highlights reel.
I feel like it might just be a Kira Chatley show reel at this point.
That's wide again, and even wider on this occasion. Just be careful, she doesn't no ball here. No ball if you get out off the cut strip. What she's trying to do is slightly hide the ball outside that off stump with fielders back at long on and deep mid wicket. There's a deep backward point if she were to reach it and skew it away. It's a nice looking shot, but it goes to that deep backward point, well positioned. And suddenly there's a sort of almost soporific calm has developed on the game.
Yeah, you feel that Hampshire might just be settling down a little bit. It was very frantic. There was a period of 5 or 6 overs where I don't think Hampshire could make head or tails of the situation.
It's going to be another wide. Third wide of the over. At the end of this over, Kirstie, I'm going to leave you alone for about 30 seconds while I try and find my hat, because the sun is now on us.
It is very much on us.
Do you have a hat?
I do not. I have sunscreen.
Okay. And you have hair, unlike me. That's beautifully worked away. Nearly hits a cameraman about a metre or so outside the rope, but now, well, 4 more for Capsey.
Yeah, we hadn't had a boundary for about 8 deliveries, I think it was. So.
Well, all of the previous over.
Oh yes.
And all of this.
Wow, there you go.
Starting to get a bit tetchy.
Mm.
Oh my word, she has absolutely hammered that. What a shot that is from Alice Capsey. Use of the feet, the noise off the bat. It's bounced on the covers and bounced back, almost back into play. This is a thrilling shot.
That has come out of the screws. The noise and the speed off of the bat. Wow.
Well, I think she'll just take the single and make sure she's on strike at the start of the next over. The 150 came up with almost without us noticing. 158 for 3 after 12. Capsey. Well, if we tell you that Kira Chatley's innings was absolutely remarkable and it took her 24 balls to get her 50, Capsey's on 45 off 18. I'm going to get a hat.
Well, and Capsey didn't face a delivery for about 3 overs as well, I think. She was 0 from 0 for a significant period of time while Kira Chatley was at the helm. So 45 from 18 deliveries. The run rate has just dropped. Nothing to worry about significantly though. They're still going at 13.17 and over as we start the 13th over with Mary Taylor. Really well bowled there from Taylor. She's definitely having an impact here for Hampshire. Probably the only bowler that's realised pace off and those slower deliveries out the hand are going to be the most impactful. She's bowled 1 over, well, 1.1 overs, 2 for 2. I think you take that and run and say, I'm done, thank you very much.
I would love. Got it. So that drop has not cost anything. Franklin goes for 2. You can see what she was trying to do with mid-off up inside the circle. She was aiming for that area the whole time. And Bell wasn't going to drop this one. She just had to go back, what, 2 or 3 yards, keep her eye on the ball, and took it cleanly. So Surrey lose their 4th.
Phoebe Franklin out for 2, caught by Lauren Bell off the bowling of Mary Taylor.
So the 4th wicket goes down at 167. 7 overs left.
The next batter, Alice Davidson-Richards.
And I've not really understood Surrey's planning when it comes to ADR so far this season. She's been held back and held back. Can semi-understand it more in 50-over cricket, where maybe you won her for the last 14, 15 overs. In 20-over cricket, she's one of the most brutal hitters around. Might have been inclined to get her up that order, but look, she's going to be a big wicket for Hampshire. They need to make sure that these two don't settle in. If they have 3 or 4 overs together and are then able to go, I say go berserk at the back end. They've gone berserk throughout the innings. But then Hampshire could be looking at 230, 240, 10 and over from here. That's 237, which is a mammoth target in women's T20, in any T20.
Let's not forget as well, there are still 7 overs remaining, so that's 30.
Beckenham, Lauren Bell.
Sorry,
42.
42. Oh, sorry, I was thinking of 6 is 36. .41 now, deliveries to come, so there's still a lot of balls to face. Now we're working on the theory that we probably see a dot ball every other over.
Well, that's Taylor's bowling, in fairness.
Well, yeah, she can only bowl 4 though. She's only got
2 left.
Got 2
yeah.
left. So
Where's she been hiding in this bowling attack? I suppose it's quite tricky to get in ahead of the bowlers that have already been used. ADR happy just to nudge one, get off the strike.
So Lauren Bell is bowling her 3rd over. She's bowled 2.2 and gone for 28 runs within those 14 deliveries. No wickets so far. Rihanna Southby standing up to the stumps.
Oof. She's done pretty well to get a glove to that as Southby, but
For sure, she's saved 4 byes there.
yeah. Hypercourse has been in touch. I'm sorry, Hypercourse. I looked at the wrong social media platform in search of you, and I went to Blue Sky, but you posted on X for us. And it's given me a few stats, which I'm going to let you know. Firstly, since the start of the Rachel Hayhoe Flint Trophy in 2020, Lindsay Smith has taken 186 wickets in all formats at an average of 20.9. That was before she was absolutely marmalised, much as that ball has been. And Lauren Bell's day isn't getting, well, a great deal better. She's taken a couple of catches, but she's gone for 32 runs on her return to professional cricket. 174 for 4. Nicely put away, this. Bit of width.
Yep.
And there's just no margin on this pitch.
No, there's not. And she finds the gap nicely there between backward point and 3rd, and that's it. If you can break through the ring here and there's no boundary rider, you will get full value for your shots.
There could be a couple on here. She does get back comfortably in the end. Now, there is a couple of things. So we were asking about higher scores in the power play. I can't remember what Chatley was on at the end of the power play. It was about 60 odd, wasn't it? Apparently ball by ball isn't publicly available for lots of women's cricket, but Sophie Devine made 66 not out in the power play for Wellington in 2021. But here is the most telling stat. This is extraordinary. So we're talking about Kira Chatley having a day to remember. So that 95 was Chatley's career best in all formats. Beating her previous best. End of the over, by the way, just the 9 from it. 176 for 4. beating her 86 for the South East Stars against Western Storm in last year's RHF. Her previous highest score in T20, do you want to have a guess? Very much got 95 today.
It would help if I put my microphone to my face. Do you know what? I probably should know that, being her teammate for so long. But no, I think 38.
You are frighteningly close.
Oh,
36.
wow. Yeah, just thinking about where she would have come into bat. She doesn't usually open in a normal order of proceedings. Bryony Smith would be opening.
Maybe
So
it's time for a change.
Imagine Bryony Smith and Kira Chatley opening the batting today.
Well, I'm starting to wonder.
Even with Paige Schofield, I mean, what a dilemma. Where do you?
Yeah.
Who opens? who do you want to face the most deliveries at the front end of the innings?
Now Taylor's continuing, and she has the most ridiculous figures.
And that's really well run there by Alice Davison-Richards as well. Set off very quickly for the second.
I'd say she's the most proactive runner in this team, ADR. 3 for 12 in 2.1. Take them off, you get 166 for 1 in 12 overs.
They are impressive bowling figures in any form of T20, let alone the situation that Hampshire find themselves in today. That is struck wonderfully off the back foot, just punched between cover and extra cover there by Alice Capsey, who moves to 60 from 26 deliveries.
Yes, it's hard to find words to describe how brilliant this shot is, actually, because Taylor's sort of bowled to her field there. She's got a wide mid-off, you'd say, and she's got a sweeper who's fairly straight. She's just managed to thread it through that gap.
If I had to describe that, I'd probably say she's just carved it. You just really just carved that shot, just beating extra cover and this sweeper here on the cover boundary.
She's on one here, is Capsey. She was on one the other day, that 125 that nearly took Surrey to victory. Valiant effort that ended in the tie. She's been left out of England's ODI side. She's in their T20 side. And you wonder if it's just a little... Again, I mean, we're talking about the new broom, the new regime. It's just a reminder to Alice Capsey that she's not a shoo-in for all forms of cricket. And well, it's had the desired result, because we've had 186 runs off her bat here in her last 2 innings, and she's still going. Well, she's found the gap again. It's quite brilliant stuff from Capsey. Absolutely awesome work. It's wide of the off stump, and Taylor's figures, though, look, they're still impressive, but they're getting a dent in this over.
Yeah, so now McCacken has come more into a deep extra cover, so there's a big vacant gap between backward point and extra cover.
Oh, that's superb work. That's Lindsay Smith at backward point. That is fantastic fielding, because that was exactly the spot you were talking about her trying to access. Of course, Capsey went after it, but she's picked out one of the best fielders in the land. 188 for 4, 15 overs gone.
That was a majestic dive there by Lindsay Smith. Managed to go with 2 hands, gather, and get straight back up onto her feet and get the ball in over the top of the stumps. It's a fielder's dream.
She's got good. Well, she's got that away as well. well-set field. She can't really go straight unless she's going to go over the top, which, you know, you won't put past her. She'll obviously give it a go at some point, but in the meantime, with
Ball is skill, knowing where your gaps are and how you're going to execute those shots. This is a super hard outfield as well, so as the ball bounces you can just see the dust kicking up from the outfield.
yes. But Alice Capsey's 50 was the third fastest recorded by an Englishwoman in T20 cricket ever.
So yeah.
Right. Well, understandably, there's a bit of a conflab with the brains trust.
Sorry, we've just been having a few sound issues, and that, I don't know if you just saw that, Dan, but that was a short ball. I think she's completely missed her length there, Freya Davies, and Alice Capsey has absolutely skied it over the square leg boundary for 6 as she goes to 78 from 34.
And Davis's figures 1 for 57. Still got 2 balls to go. It's a very rare dot ball. Strange bit of cricket there.
That seemed like a very good ball, actually. Almost quicker. I think Davies might be bowling with a bit more fire in her belly, but obviously when you do that as a bowler and you're angry and you're charging in, trying to bowl as fast as possible, you lose control of line and length. But there was a very good delivery from probably think I don't need that.
Yes, he's sort of rather hoping we could brush that aside for the time being. Let's get on with life. Right, it's not going to be Tyson who's going to bowl. It will be Lauren Bell to bowl her 4th and final over. With Southby up to the stumps. He's muscled up to mid-off, but she's not been struck for a bat.
The Surrey bowl is preparing to come out and bowl in the next few overs, and what conversation coach in terms of how they're going to go about their bowling attack.
And indeed how you skipper this, you know, what are your plans? Well, they're going to try and get back for 2. This could be tight. Throw comes in. And that is really good running. Again from ADR. She leaves nothing out there, does Alison Davidson Richards.
No, she certainly doesn't. And you'd know it if you did, if she did.
I think I might have to ask you to move your hand slightly because the sun is gleaming off your watch and onto the screen.
I'm sorry about
Who's
that.
done it again?
Shining off my Rolex.
Oh, no, that's just all horrible. And scooting away for 4. It's byes. Could have been wides, but Capsy moved so far across the stumps. So that's what the umpire was calculating. 11 off the over, but only 7 off the bat. Bell has bowled out.
No wicket for 41 runs.
None for 41 off 4, but 2 overs to go. 226 on the board. 250 is on.
It is on, and before the start of this over, I was thinking to myself, Rihanna Southby is very good up to the stumps. Bowlers have been struggling with their lines. Is it worth her standing back just to let the bowlers settle in and you know, hit their line of length at the risk of, obviously, that it allows the the batter to use the crease a lot more and come down the track. But the margin for error just becomes ever so slightly higher if you keep it standing back. I got the feeling at the end of that over that Lauren Bell probably wanted Rhys Southby to be standing back.
This should be taken, and it is. Maya Boucher this time takes the catch. And Davidson Richards, who is going to swing come what may, holds out at long on. She goes for 23. It was a handy cameo for Surrey that. They lose their 5th wicket at 2:26. There's a little bit of anger in that catch, isn't there?
Yeah, I think just the drop of, was it Capsey that Boucher dropped?
I think so, and at deep mid-wicket.
Yeah, so, I mean, the slightest part of redemption probably within that celebration, but it also means that Capsey's still stranded at the other end. So just because the batter's crossed, it means that the new batter faces the next delivery. As Callier Moore comes out to bat.
Your next batter, Callier Moore.
Okay, now I watched Alexa Stonehouse hit some mighty sixes. Is Callier Moore in that kind of bracket, would you say, with the bat?
Yeah, I'd say so. Certainly capable. I think, you know, this Surrey team bat all the way down to 10s. You've still got Rhiannon McDonald-Gay to come, Alexa Stonehouse. So there's plenty of depth here.
Capsey, though, I fancy, might be saying, single please. I want strike.
I am with you though, Dan. I think off the back of Wednesday's performance, it would have been nice to see Alexa Stonehouse to come out to bat. I think she probably is sitting there thinking, come on, let me have a go. Got a hit.
Well, it did. If it had hit, I think it would have been curtains. But the job was done. The job was to get off strike, come what may. Get Alice Capsey onto strike. With 10 balls remaining. And Taylor's figures are just absolutely ridiculous in this game. 4 for 23. When Surrey are 227 for 5 in the 19th over. It should just be the single. So, I mean, really, it's kind of a template, perhaps, for how Surrey need to bowl. There's a little bit of pace off.
Pace off, take note of the field. Bowl full and straight, and protect your straight boundaries.
Well, it's not going to be wided by the umpire. So Moore here with 2 balls to go. I would argue she's probably got a free hit here, because if you take the single, then really you want Capsey on strike to start at the final over anyway. So she may as well swing for the hills, I might suggest. She'll take the single. So it'll be interesting to see what Capsey does here. Taylor's clearly been the pick of the bowlers. She's going to want to have a dart in that last over. See if she can get Surrey up. I think 250 is probably now pushing it, but up to 240 and beyond. So when you're asking 2 runs a ball, that's quite the chase. And that is exactly what she's done. She's quite calculatedly taken the single off the last ball of the over, but Taylor has finished 4 for 26. I cannot applaud her enough.
Taylor concludes her 4 overs with figures of 4 for 26.
Lauren Bell is in this team, Lindsay Smith is in this team, Freya Davis is in this team, and you've got to say they've all been massively out-bowled by Mary Taylor. 4 for 26, fantastic effort on a day when, if you were a bowler, you would seriously be considering your life options.
Yeah, I agree, and actually, had things been going the way that Hampshire wanted, there's a high probability that Mary Taylor wouldn't have been bowled today. If Georgia Adams had just used her 5 bowlers, it would be unlikely that Mary Taylor would have been one of those bowlers. So it just goes to show that your name doesn't necessarily carry you through your performance.
Now, last over, bat's rather twisted in her hand. She's taken the single. Did wonder if she might just look to stick on strike, but she's showing faith in Moore. taken to the cleaners by Kira Chatley. 5 fours in 1 over from Lindsay Smith earlier today. And she won't quite beat the fielder. They shouldn't run 2 here. They're going to run 2. And they've got back safely, but not sure whether that 1 run was worth it when you got Capsey at the other end on 86.
Yeah. Well, Capsey was up for it. She could have said no. She could have said no.
Absolutely.
4 deliveries to come. 2, 3, 3 for 5.
And she's bowled up. Just yorked herself coming down the wicket. And it looks like Capsey's going to be stranded at the other end here. 3 balls remain in the innings. Surrey 233 for 6. I mean, you could. It's sort of fallen off the innings towards the back end, but it's all relative. Because what we have seen.
Gallimore bowled by Lindsay Smith.
It's
for 4
quite
runs
remarkable.
off 5 balls.
Alice Capsey's 50. We know that was the 3rd fastest. I'm waiting to find out how big a score this is in the context of women's T20s. That's not come through yet.
The next batter, Rihanna McDonald-Kay.
Still no Alexa Stonehouse.
In fairness, RMG did whack a few herself the other day in partnership with Capsey. She was rather responsible for Surrey clinging on in what looked to everybody around us like a completely hopeless cause. But now Hampshire, well, you must have been in teams where you've been smacked all over the park. You've got 3 balls left. Your body's like to course through with relief, isn't it? This is nearly done.
I don't know what you're talking about. I've never been in a team that's lost like that. No. 100%. I think they'll just be thinking, look, right, get me over the line. We need to just regroup.
Well, that single will get Capsey under strike for the last 2 balls as a man with a London Spirit top walks past. We don't approve of that, do we?
No, we don't. Anything north of the river we don't approve of.
Absolutely not. Did you see the kerfuffle there was in the news about how the Prime Minister had not flown the flag of Middlesex above Downing Street? He was accused of showing terrible disrespect by the Conservative councillor, I think, in Middlesex. I mean, Middlesex doesn't actually exist as a county.
Yeah, it's Great Grace of London now, isn't it?
It is. Cassie has just nudged the single. Is she going to come back for a second? Oh, well, she fancied it. She would like to get back on strike. They might have just run there now. They are going to get the overthrow. Throw comes into the keeper's end. Not out, says the umpire. So Capsey picks up one of the more chaotic 2s you will ever see. And now has 1 ball left. Not quite sure why she played that shot.
Well, I think Lindsay Smith's resorted to bowling Yorkers now because it's the only ball that she can get away with bowling that isn't sent for 4 or 6. So it's quite smart on her behalf. She's probably thinking, why don't I think of this earlier?
Well, yes. If Capsey can get a boundary here, then that target will be up over 2 a ball. And that presumably is her target. Slightly tired hack into the onside. Well, they've got to run. You have to run. And, well, it matters not. Wicket falls off the last ball of the innings. Just 7 runs off that last over. Good bowling from Lindsay Smith. Surrey will finish on 237 for 7. I think Alice Capsey slightly ran out of puff a bit towards the back end of that innings. I can't blame her. She finishes unbeaten on 88 of 44 balls, striking at exactly 200. It has been, well, one of the more remarkable innings you could wish to see. Powered by that incredible 95 from Kira Chatley, raining boundaries up the top, 95 from 47. Alice Capsey with 88 of 44, and Davidson Richards with 23 off 13. Wickets for Taylor, 4 of them. She bowled really, really well amidst the absolute chaos around her. And if we get to see the bowling figures, you will see what a massive contrast Taylor's are. Talk me through these, Kirstie.
Well, 7 bowlers in total here, so was it 7? Can I count right? Yep, 7 bowlers. So Mary Taylor pick of the bunch here, so 4 overs, 26 runs, 4 wickets. Her run rate per over is 6.5, which is almost half of the remainder of the average of the rest of the team. Is that what you were just adding up?
Well, just every other bowler's got it over 10s. If you take off those 4 overs, you get 211 runs for 3 wickets in 16 overs. So
And then someone's got to bowl the other 4 overs still.
yeah. So if Taylor wasn't there, then 250 would have been on. Instead, you have to say 237 is a mammoth total. The target 238. Kirstie, sum up what you've seen in a short sentence so we can get some food.
I've seen some absolute dominance here from Surrey, and this is the kind of batting that you expect to see when you come and watch a T20, but it's been executed to perfection from the Surrey batters, Kira Chatley in particular, having a captain's batting performance there, really taken on the responsibility of that leadership role today, and it's really put the pressure on Hampshire, so they'll be wanting to have a regroup, a drink, and come back out and see if they can chase down this score.
And so say all of us. We're going to take a break. We will be back at the start of Hampshire's reply.
them, Maya Boucher and Ella McCacken.
Well, welcome back, everybody. Those of you that have just joined us, Surrey posted a mammoth 237 for 7 from their 20 overs. Exceptional batting performances from Kira Chatley with 95 and Alice Capsey with 88. And a cameo from Alice Davison-Richards as well in those final few overs. Opening the bowling at the Beckenham end is Tilly Courtine-Coleman. I'm joined by Dan Norcross, who is just finishing off his lunch. He's looking forward to seeing Tilly Courtine-Coleman bowl for the first time this season. I'm certain of it. He's been desperate for her to be in the squad. Tails will certainly be up here for Surrey, so biggest run chase, I would imagine, can't confirm just yet, but especially domestically, women's T20 in cricket, I think we're certainly looking at that today. So 1 from the first ball. Required run rate is just under 12 and over. Paige Schofield with the stop there at mid-on. Uses her body, prevent the boundary. Just 2 from the first 2 deliveries. Maya Boucher is trying to drive down the ground.
I have news.
Oh.
On Highness. Highness of score.
Not your Highness.
No, not my Highness. Or your Highness.
You're welcome.
This is the 3rd highest women's T20 total in the UK. But the 2 that are higher, 255 and 250, both for 3 wickets. Somerset versus Wales at Newport in 2013. I can't vouch for that fixture particularly. And England against South Africa at Taunton in 2018. I was probably there. So in terms of women's domestic competition, well, it's huge. So as a batting side, Kirstie, how do you go about this? It's frightening. You'll never have set yourself to chase 238 before. It's not the sort of thing you have plans for particularly.
I think early boundaries are going to be really important for Hampshire here.
Power play. Massively exploiting the power play. Well, there's only the 6 singles off that first over, and that's how quickly the rate goes up. I mean, already it's gone over 2 a ball because that target was 238. So to keep it under 2 a ball, they need to get 9 in that over, and now from here on in, it's got to be 12s.
Yeah, and I think psychologically as well, the impact that scoring boundaries will have on Hampshire's ability to chase and maintain and stay within a chaseable distance of this score is going to be absolutely huge. Some previous broadcasts we've spoken about Surrey's attitude towards boundary strings, so what they will be looking to do here is ensure that they have extended periods of time where Hampshire don't score a boundary, and in doing that will obviously dry up the run rate and force errors from Hampshire, so that will be something they'll be very mindful of here as Alexa Stonehouse opens the bowling from the city end.
Got a deep third, it's quite fine, and a deep backward square. And that has been muscled through wide mid off for 4. So you can see the plan. The plan is we've got to come hard. And it's what Surrey did right from the off. I'm not going to say they got a bit of luck because frankly Chatley's batting was on another scale. I talked about the intelligence of it, the manipulation of the field. It was just a wonderful innings to watch. But already that shot has created a change in field. So thirds come up. inside the circle. Deep mid-wicket has gone back. Would need to be straighter than that if they're trying to cover the shot we've just seen, mind you.
Yeah, and that's something we spoke about towards the end of the Hampshire innings when they had deep extra cover, a deep, well, I'd say basically cow corner, a long on and a long off. And they were more impactful in terms of reducing the amount of boundaries that Surrey were scoring then. So reacted very quickly there to that boundary straight through mid-wicket.
That's been beautifully slashed away. A bit too much width. And third's come up. And that is not where you want to bowl it.
For a split second there, I thought it was just going to hang in the air for Emma Jones to take a diving catch, but unfortunately for Emma Jones, it was too far away, and fortunately for Maya Boucher, it's allowed her to pick up a boundary. Very welcome boundary as far as Hampshire will be concerned.
The thing is, they need so many of them. Oh, that's a great shot. That is huge. That might be the biggest straight six we've seen today. It's up there with one of Capsey's, certainly. And look, this is what scoreboard pressure can do to you. It gives you a certain clarity of mind, Kirstie.
It does that, exactly. And I think it almost gives you a bit of a license to say you have to go hard. So there's no doubt in your mind what kind of plan you're going to try and execute, you know, from ball one. You have to have the intent, so that's really nicely struck there by Boucher. I was just looking down at that long on boundary. The Hampshire fans are actually sitting quite close to the boundary rope, and if you're fielding it long on and are thinking I might be able to take a catch and scoop it back inside, you might end up in a spectator's lap.
Oh, now then, fielder. Oh, does brilliantly. Does absolutely brilliantly to save 6 runs there. That is incredible work, because she was right on the boundary rope. When we take a look at that again, it was hit so cleanly by Boucher. Off the bat, I thought it had gone all the way. It was another finely timed shot by Boucher, but she has done superbly there. She knew that there was no way she was going to be able to keep her balance and stay inside the field of play, but she saved 4 runs. They would have gone for 6. They only got 2 off it, but a very, very profitable over for Hampshire. 17 from it, and that rate has just nudged down below 12. These are the small victories I guess you've got to give yourself when you're chasing 238.
Yeah, they are, and I've spoken before on air about how many runs you're comfortable chasing with 18, 24 balls to go, and that's what it's going to come down to today. How many runs do Hampshire feel comfortable chasing in those final 3 overs? What is their number, and how many wickets in hand do they need to be able to do that?
What will you think? 40 off the last 3? You'd back yourself. It's tough. Tough ask.
I think it really depends who's at the
Who's
crease.
in, yeah.
It really does. So I think it's going to be really important here for McCacken and Boucher to set the platform up, and I think realistically you will need to have Georgia Adams at the crease at the end of the game to see it home.
And what Surrey fancy will do will be not dissimilar to Hampshire. You'll be ringing the changes with the bowlers, not letting the batters settle against any one bowler. That's why Courtine Coleman's out of the attack. The third double-barrelled player in the team today. If Wyatt Hodge was here, we might have been able to set a new world record.
And Surrey have to be really disciplined. They haven't started the season well with bowling in terms of their extras.
It's almost... how do you do this? How do you do this, Kirstie?
I did this with the boundary, and maybe I should say that they're going to take wickets. They're very good at taking wickets.
No, I'm afraid you're reading the game too well.
But this has been where Surrey have fallen on several occasions. That game, particularly against Somerset, the first game of the season. Oh, wow.
Oh, crumbs. Well, that is another massive shot. And Boucher looks in the mood to make a point here.
I'd really like to see the replay of the man just laying on the boundary, just taking a slight roll onto his right-hand side, just to avoid being hit there.
Well,
just there
that was beautifully done. That's a very low impact avoidance technique. That.
What does McDonald Gay do here?
want to see is Yorkers and slower balls. Tricky to do when the lacquer's still on the ball. I appreciate that. It's quite hard, isn't it, to bowl, if you're a seamer, to bowl slower balls with a ball that's not quite scuffed yet. It can slide out of your hand a little bit.
Well, you're asking the wrong person, but I'll take your word for it. I think you're right, though. I think cutters, back of the hand slower balls are going to be key here. And I don't think Surrey have been quick enough to go to those in the longer format. And obviously they're really important within this element of the game.
Well, this is exactly the start that Hampshire wanted. It's a long way to go. But they're up for this chase, you can tell. They're not daunted by it. Boucher is going to be a very big wicket for Surrey. If she hangs around, she could certainly match what we saw earlier from Chatley and Capsey. Her field has just been moved from deep backward square leg, put a yard in front, and that has been swung away behind square for 4 more. As a young man with very cool specs walks by. I do like those sunnies.
Yeah, it's a shame about the jumper, but it's nice sunglasses.
It is a shame about the top he's wearing, but yeah, you can't have everything.
I think Surrey might be desperate for this ball to get soft. If I'm fielding on the boundary, I'm making sure that I'm sending that ball in on the bounce to the keeper.
Well,
anything you can to take a little bit of heat off that ball and soften it up.
Now Jones has raised her arm and said, should I not be behind square here? Oh, that's another mighty shot. It's going to be 4 more. So it's been raining boundaries here at Beckenham all season, but none so much as today. It's been absolutely fabulous to watch, but you've got to say that's not great bowling from McDonald Gate. Full toss, which was easily put away by Boucher, just picked a spot. So we saw the 3rd fastest 50 today from Alice Capsey by an English woman in T20s. That was 50 off 20 balls. Boucher's got 7 balls to get 16 here. Well, it's going to be 4 more.
I can only describe that as a whack. It's almost a forehand volley through cow corner.
I'm starting to feel for the bowlers here. 20 off that over. If you're McDonald Gay and you're trying to put your arm up and say to Charlotte Edwards, you know, I could be in your seam bowling battery. And Lottie stares at the scores. I mean, she comes to the games as well. We've seen her here a couple of times. There was a rumour she was going to be here today, but when she comes, she's usually incognito inside a tent with dark glasses and a hat. But she looks at those numbers and goes, oh, that's not going so well. That said, she will know the curious, the unique properties of Beckenham. Courtine Coleman is the switching ends here. She's going to bowl 2 in the power play, you'd think. That is really neatly played, really nicely done. A very typical sort of power play shot, that. You've got so little protection. The boundary riders are out at long on and deep mid wicket, so just plays the reverse.
It would have been good if the groundsman could have just sprinkled a little bit of water on the outfield during the break.
Well, a rare non-boundary ball, but Hampshire 1 run away from bringing up their 50. And we're already just over halfway through the power play.
Yeah, I like Capsey's decision to hold the ball there and not throw at the 1 stump. Offer them 2 or 4.
Oh, crumbs. Well, that has gone all the way. And it's a bit of a chase to go and get it. It's gone beyond the covers. That is a mighty hit. That is a long way out there, up towards the sort of mound, if you like. And the boundaries just keep raining down.
Yeah, just dragging length there, Tilly Courtine Coleman. You just get a sense that she doesn't really want them to reverse her, so she's dragged her length a bit and a little bit too much, and it has been sent straight over the covers on the boundary. Some children playing almost took them out, I think.
This could yet be 4 more. It is. Boucher is in the mood here. Dropped by England, not in any squad. She's up to 48. 16 balls. She's striking at 300 here, Kirstie. We've seen some mad cricket today.
We've seen some mad maths from you as well. That's unbelievable. By my standards. I mean, maybe not by yours. You're probably thinking that's not.
Call me a human calculator.
I couldn't tell you how many balls there were in 6 overs earlier, so. And I've been playing the game my entire life.
Don't. That was the specious reason for 100 balls, wasn't it?
And I'd have still been wrong.
Well, there was a rather patronising comment in the release many years ago, wasn't there? That was, people find it, especially women and children, find it harder to divide things by 6 than 5. I thought, do they?
That's another boundary. Swept really nicely there by McCacken.
Well, what's that? That's 20 off that over from Courtine Coleman. 64 without loss. 4 overs have been bowled. The run rate required is a mere 11, basically. But that is what Surrey will cling on to at this point. They'll be thinking 2 more overs, 2 more overs, and then we get to put out 2 more fielders.
It looks like McDonald Gay's having another one. Kira Chatley's putting some faith in her and just saying, look, have another. Just settle down, find your rhythm and find your line. I do feel that McDonald Gay probably is the bowler to pick up a wicket here. Particularly Boucher. I think she's vulnerable to McDonald Gay, especially off the front foot. So it's just a case of McDonald Gay here just bowling her best ball. That's not it.
No, that isn't it. And it's 50 for Maya Boucher off just 18 balls. The equal second fastest 50.
Of 18 balls with 6 fours and 4 sixes.
By an English woman in T20 cricket, brought up with a magnificent 6. 55 off 18. Well, there are 2 players who threatened to score hundreds earlier today. This is a third, Maya Boucher. And a timely one at that after being left out of England's T20 and ODI squads.
Well, she's probably thinking, why couldn't I have batted here earlier in the season?
Well, yeah, she should have transferred to Surrey, shouldn't she? She's got that away as well. It's an amazing shot, that. She's on the move. She's not balanced as she hits the ball. And yet she's found a gap between extra cover and mid-off, and it's whistled away. And McDonald Gay has bowled 8 balls. She has figures of none for 30.
This groundsman must be really proud of himself.
You say that. You say that in you don't mind me saying so, a moderately snarky way.
But come on.
You must be proud of yourself what you've done here.
Well, I mean, is there an award? Is there a ground staff awards for the most runs scored on your ground?
Oh, I don't think
it
works.
That should be an
like
award.
Well, she, and his or her entire staff would win it hands down. Meanwhile, I'm looking on at these spectators here, the deck chairs away here, the woman with the fabulous hair in the middle and the 2 hats on either side. And they got some lovely drinks on them. And I'm really quite jealous.
That looks like a gin glass. They are well prepared. Also, I believe one of the spectators is wearing a Surrey hat, so it's all good. That's a better delivery there from McDonald Gay.
That is definitely more of what she's after. Trying to get that up right into the block hole because she knows that Boucher's going to swing. I mean, despite this start, 74 without loss after 4.5, because the target is so enormous, they have to keep going. So Boucher will keep on swinging, and you can't underestimate also that you get a little tired after a while. Boucher's been in the field for 20 overs. She's been out there now for bit overs. Swinging yourself off your feet takes it out of you.
And it's hot. It is very, very warm day here at Beckenham. That sun is beating down. There is no chance of any clouds providing any relief from the heat and the sun.
Yeah, there are no stands, are there? There's nowhere on this ground where you can say, Skip, do you mind if I go down a deep fine leg? You know, there's a nice big stand in the way. Now then, Boucher's just trying some different things. 2 dot balls has got just shifting her plan slightly, which McDonald Gay will be delighted with. Because she's got 1 more ball to bowl in the power play. Then she can breathe an interim sigh of relief.
I think she's probably thinking, just get out of this over now. Get out of this over. Pressure feels like it's shifted back onto Boucher here.
Chipped and gone. There's a wicket, expertly predicted by Kirstie White. Unbelievable from you. Lottery numbers, please. And Hampshire lose their first wicket. Boucher is not going to get to those 3 figures that have eluded Capsey and Chatley today, but she goes for a very dynamic 59. She has got Hampshire off to a terrific start. But those 3 dot balls just started to tell, and that's the thing about an enormous target, that you can feel like you're massively under the pump, but you string together a few good balls and suddenly the pressure goes back onto the batters. Hampshire lose their first, they're 74 for 1.
I did actually win £4.20 on the Euro Millions last night.
Did you?
Well, technically it's £2.10, but yeah. It's
Oh, well, you have to share it, right? Yeah, okay. Yeah.
But no, that's huge for Surrey. That's going to change the momentum. McCacken has only faced 7 balls. She's 13 from 7. And Southby joins her at the crease, who's had a fantastic season so far with the bat. Last season was batting very far down the order, around 9, 10 and 11 actually at times. So she's had a fantastic winter, but there's a lot of pressure here on this young batting pair to get Hampshire into a respectable place to finish the game.
It looks like Stonehouse is going to bowl out. So a very similar pattern actually to the way Hampshire manoeuvred their bowlers around. 3 bowlers bowling 2 overs. And then Chatley will just be able to shift things around a touch.
Big conflab, this one.
Well, it is, isn't it? We haven't seen Capsey bowling for a little while. Do you think there's a chance we might see a little bit of that? There's Alice Davidson-Richards as well as Callia Moore.
I think there's a chance you might see everyone bowl today,
yes.
to be honest. That's nicely bowled there by Stonehouse. Just dropped into mid-wicket, picked up a single. Yeah, I think if you're a part-time bowler, you're not hiding today, because there's a chance that the skipper's going to throw the ball to you and say, get me a wicket, and I don't care how you do it.
Well, we saw that with Hampshire, didn't we? they tried pretty much everybody, and then some people that they've never tried before. But Stonehouse will be happy enough with this. She's got the new batter Southby on strike. Oh, a little fumble there. They might come back for 2. They will. And what was a risky single has turned into a comfortable 2.
Yep, just the 3 runs coming from the last 5 deliveries. So that run rate will start to creep back up again. But they do need to be mindful and know where they're going to pick their boundaries up. 1s and 2s are great. Boundaries are what are going to win the game here for Hampshire.
Now, I have news. The highest successful chase in all women's T20 cricket is one that you might well remember. It's quite recent. West Indies 213 against Australia at North Sydney Oval in 2023. That was when Hayley Matthews got 132 off 64 balls. The English record, Yorkshire Diamonds 185 against the Southern Vipers at York back in 2019 in what was then the Kia Super League.
So 4 runs coming from this over so far, 4 balls in. A respectable over from Stonehouse. We have a deep cover point, I'd say. She's a very, very square cover. It's that ball coming onto the bat quite quickly. It means that fielder needs to be ever so slightly more square.
Oh, now she's been moved.
And now she's moved.
Yeah. So deep mid wicket's going back, and more comes into the ring.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, she's bowled her. Moved across her stumps, trying to get that up and over fine leg. And the bails fly off. Stonehouse with another wicket, and Hampshire, after that very bright start, have lost now both their openers. They're 78 for 2.
Yeah, that's really well bowled by Stonehouse. Just you've got to attack the stumps, and that's what she's done. 2 wickets in, 2 overs here for Surrey. So that's going to start to kill a bit of momentum. Looks like Nancy Hartman is coming out to the crease. She's making her way out very quickly. There's no time for Surrey really to get a drink. She's ready and raring to take the strike.
I like it when batters come out like that.
Yeah.
Like they sort of own the space, you know, let me at them. I want to have a go on this wicket. We all do, really. I feel like padding up myself.
Well, it's not a long walk, I suppose, but it's yeah, she was there immediately.
Well, this has been a very fine over so far from Stonehouse. Her first over went for 17. She's picked up the wicket and come back well. Harmon's got 1 ball left to face in the power play. It's nicely worked into the onside. They'll think of 2. It isn't there. Sent back is Southby. So 5 off the over and the wicket. 79 for 2. The power play done. Hampshire more than up with the rate, but after that explosive start, the first 4 overs, when Surrey were really under the pump, you just see the value of having an enormous target to defend, because things happen in games of cricket. They don't just stay exactly the same. We're never going to watch Maya Boucher clatter it to all parts for 18.2 overs. You just have to be patient and dig in. So now the field can spread, or at least 2 further fielders can spread. And fairly predictably, they're out at deep backward square, deep mid-wicket, long on deep cover. And Danny Gregory, the leg spinner, into the attack. So plenty of bowling options. We've already identified about 7 for you. What Surrey have got. She starts on a horrible half-tracker, but she's going to get away with it. It's basically an occupational hazard of being a leggy.
Those are the kind of deliveries that today may just pick you up a wicket. Your best ball might not. I'm just wondering why Georgia Adams hasn't come out to bat yet. She's in form. She's scored plenty of runs. She's faced a lot of deliveries.
That is much better from Gregory. She's landed that second one pretty much where she'd love to. Yeah, just to be clear, this T20, the jeopardy is enormous. It's when you go through to the quarterfinals, lose, you're out. So there's no group phase in this tournament.
And if you draw, you play a super over, like Durham did last night.
Oh yes, 8 played 9, didn't it?
Mm.
Do you know, I saw that there was Super Over, but I forgot who won it.
It was Durham.
Right.
Yeah, I think they were chasing 9. They needed 9 for 1, and Best Heath did it in 3 balls.
Another wide, 2 consecutive wides from Gregory, just straying down that leg side. Picked up a few wickets in the last game here. A couple of days ago, 3 days ago I think it is now.
Yeah, she's definitely trying to bowl straight. She's got 2 fielders out on the leg side here, but just overcompensating with that leg side line.
Well, that's wonderfully clattered away. Picked the spot. It wasn't that short, but you've got no margin for error on this pitch at all.
No, you don't. And actually what Hampshire did really well, and how they adapted quite quickly, was that their deep mid-wicket was in much more of a cow corner position, whereas Surrey's deep mid-wicket, Callie Moore, is kind of in a pretty orthodox position. She has now just held where she is. But that does mean that the gap between deep square leg and mid-wicket is huge. It's probably about 60 yards.
Hence that too.
Hence that too.
Precious dot ball when your opponents need near enough to a ball. Every time you get a dot, it just raises the pressure for another boundary to compensate. Well, Gregory will take that. She's got out of the over well. A couple of wides and a boundary, but only 9 off the over. 88 for 2, 7 gone. So they started by needing just a tick under 12. They're going at 12 and a half at the moment. But they have lost those 2 crucial wickets, both openers.
I remember a time a couple of seasons ago where you've won the power play if you finish your 6 overs with 36 or more runs on the board.
Yeah, it's changed a bit since your day.
My day ended last summer, thank you very much. I'm shook. The audacity, oh my goodness. I tell you what, on a day like today, I fancy coming out of retirement.
I bet you do. I think even I do, and I'm 56 and really don't fancy the fielding, but I'd do it to have a bat. So more into the attack. Surrey going with spin the moment that they're out of the power play.
Yeah, I like more into the attack. She tends to bowl really from the city end because she does turn the ball and is a longer boundary on that side. So you'll notice that of all the bowlers, she will actually bowl an outside off stump line.
Little fumble allows them through for 1. So what's her protection out there? We've got a long on, a deep mid-wicket and a deep backward square. Sort of encouraging the up and over shot, although now long off is going back and cover is coming in. Is that for Harman or is that?
I think that's for Harman, yeah. She plays straight down the ground.
Oh, that's another one gone. Good glove work from Chatley. It sees the back of Harman. She had to get on with it, and that is the danger. As they lose their third, they're 90 for 3, Hampshire.
Continues to be a good game for Kira Chatley. Nice and tidy behind the stumps with the gloves. Easy take and break. That move, just pushing long off out, I think just enticed Harman down the track to try and hit those sweepers hard, but she lost her shape and ultimately caused her demise.
Yep, the nature of the game has changed quite significantly in the last 10 or 15 minutes.
Your next batter, Hampshire captain Georgia Adams.
Yeah, wearing the distinctive number 1 on her back, Georgia Adams. A veteran of English cricket.
So in terms of batting still to come, should Hampshire lose another wicket, we have Abby Norgrove, who's made some good contributions the last few weeks for Hampshire. We have Lindsay Smith, Mary Taylor, Freya Davies, Lauren Bell and Rebecca Tyson.
Well, I have to confess that finding one of the more enjoyable things in world cricket is watching Lauren Bell bat. So nothing would make me happier than for her to come out today.
Lauren Bell hitting a 6 straight towards the city end.
It's entirely possible.
You just get the feeling if Surrey can take 1 or 2 more wickets here, the game could be dead and buried.
Well, yeah, that radial notice has gone back up to 2 a ball. And that tremendous over from Moore finishes with a single, just the 5 from it and the wicket. So Hampshire 92 for 3. They will not be able to spend long reconnoitring So Georgia Adams is going to have to get into her work very quickly.
Yeah, and this pair have had a fantastic innings together recently. Down at the Aegeus with Georgia Adams scoring 100 and Ree having I think she just fell short just of her 100, somewhere in the 80s. So they'll be riding high on the wave. They'll feel confident, and I'm sure they feel that they can give a good crack at this. But I'm not sure they have the power, and it's not necessarily about the power. I just feel that the pendulum's swinging ever so slightly in Surrey's favour right now, but anything can happen in an over. As Gregory continues from the Beckenham end.
A lot of risk in that shot as well to dig it out, but it'll only get the single. Now, for comparison purposes, Surrey at the end of the 10th over were 141 for 1. Hampshire, who looked on course for that 3 overs ago, are now very much behind that. That'll be 47 runs and 11 balls, and they've already lost 3 wickets. Well, that's a biggie. And it's going to go sailing over wide long on for 6. They're going to need a fair few more of those.
And this is what we mean. This is just exactly how that pendulum can just move ever so slightly. So one from the first delivery, 6 from the second. This needs to be a good over for Hampshire for them to stay. Well, I say stay on top of the run rate. They currently are going at 12s and over, but to maintain the momentum that they will need.
Wasn't an awful lot wrong with the ball, was there?
Right. And this is what we mean. Your best ball might not be your best ball today.
Now, the other aspect of this is, of course, that the pressure you put on the fielders, because you're going to run almost every ball. It's going to go to the fielders and they're going to run. So,
but you know what? If I'm a captain, I'm happy for them to run ones. They're not going to win the game running ones. So I just say hold the ball, don't throw it at the stumps, because if you throw it at the stumps and it hits the stumps and it goes to 4, they've picked up 5. I'd be much more happy with them taking singles than conceding boundaries.
well, that rate is back up to 2 aboard. It's hovered around there. Hampshire have never let it get completely out of control. Another swing, but the field is well set out on the leg side. So it's only another single. So despite that 6, 11 have come from the over. And if only a single is scored off this, bizarrely, they'll be behind the rate. It is just a single. So 11 off that over from Gregory. 104 for 3, 9 gone. We're approaching halfway. That target, a mammoth 238.
Yeah, 2 really good bowling. Two really good overs there from Danny Gregory. She's under pressure, and as a leg spinner, when you're put under pressure, you really have to ensure that you can execute your skills, and she's done just that. And that's, I think, part of that has come from Callie Moore's first over, going only for 5 and picking up the wicket. It's taking the pressure off of Gregory, but
now she's got enough of that, and that, I think, has gone 1 bounce for 4. There's a fielder out at long on, but it's really nicely judged by Georgia Adams. Long levers, sending that with a big shovel of bottom hand, sending that away to the right of the fielder.
what I was about to say was Gregory had set Callier's over up nicely to start, and she's gone for 4. However, they still need to pick up plenty more in this over to be on top of the rate.
Well, that's brilliantly played, absolutely brilliantly played. Again, there's protection for Moore out at straight at long on, slightly wide long off, but she's managed to find that gap. Starts over with 2 4s, putting pressure on the bowler here.
This outfield is electric. It's absolutely rapid. I feel like the ball is picking up speed as it's hitting the deck.
It does, doesn't it? The bizarre illusion of that. You kind of feel if the crowd wasn't in the way, or the covers or the mound, the ball would just keep on travelling for around 200 yards.
Yeah, it's not even June, and I think we're about to start seeing some brown outfield. So that's chipped nicely by Southby. Moore sees her coming down, so just decides to drag her length and hold her pace, and Southby can only oblige by just dropping it backward of square and nursing it around the corner.
Well, I hope you're prepared for the hose pipe ban that's inevitably going to arrive. It's good work by Capsey. She's just on the edge of the ring at extra cover.
Well, I'll tell you what I did buy before I went away for Easter, because I'd put some lawn treatment down. I actually bought a timer for my sprinkler. I'm that old.
Oh, now they're fumbled by Capsey. They've run on the shot. And they get the single. 11 off the over. They're keeping up the rate here. They're in touch. Hampshire at the halfway mark. 115 for 3. 123 required. 7 wickets in hand. Okay, so this timer, how does this work then?
Well,
You tell it when to come on, I suppose.
Yeah.
Wow.
Screw it onto the outside tap and plug in your hose and your sprinkler, and you just program it and say what time of day you want it to come on and how many minutes for, and that's it. I mean, I put a lot of faith in it. I went away for about 2 weeks and I was kind of expecting to come home to a flooded garden or patio or something. But no, it's absolutely fantastic. I'm definitely showing my age by, being that invested in my grass. But
how's your Forsythia and your Budleyers?
Well, actually, my gladioli have really sprouted. They're on their way. I've got some dahlias popping up at the moment. I've got a lily, Callia lily, just sprouting. I've lost the plot, Daniel.
You are green-fingered, aren't you?
The sun's got to me.
You are weirdly green-fingered. Franklin in the attack. And, well, she's an unusual kind of season. There have been touched moments of goodness, but she's also had a tendency just to stray a little too short, which you cannot afford to do here.
Yeah, first came back from injury, and she was forced to leave the field actually playing Hampshire at the Aegeus last time round. So I'm sure she'll be keen to make amends. She was struggling with a hamstring, couldn't finish her over and ended up leaving the pitch. So she's quite similar, if not a little bit quicker, to Mary Taylor. She has that element to her, so you can really cramp a batter with a quite a floaty delivery as well. So this could be really useful here for Surrey.
I would say, though, is that from a Hampshire perspective, now they're coming back for 2 here. It's going to be tight. And it is. It's gone. Adams goes, coming back for the second. It always looked like a tight second run. And a really good throw on the bounce over the stumps. And that is a big, big wicket. Because if Georgia Adams gets going, well, she can make 12 and over look distinctly possible. But it's not going to be her day today. She goes for 16. That might be revised to 17. Run out, coming back for 2. Hampshire have lost their 4th. They're 118 for 4.
Yeah, that's really well fielded by Emma Jones. Picking up and releasing really quickly. Clean take a break there from Kira Chatley, taking it in front of the stumps. Emma Jones will be happy with that. She didn't make the contribution with the bat that she wanted, and I'll be honest, I'm not sure if Surrey will bowl her today. Her express pace could cause more runs or leak more runs than they're willing to risk. But if they get control of the game here, then you might see a bit of Emma Jones's rapid bowling running in from the Beckenham end.
There was a really good throw from the deep, and brilliantly taken by the keeper, standing in front of the stumps and that coming back round the side, demolishing the sticks. That's a very big wicket for Surrey.
The weight of the game now weighs on Rihanna Southby's shoulders, you just feel.
We keep seeing young people running around, and I don't understand where they get the energy from.
They're moving targets.
Well, I suppose that might be the idea.
If you stand still, you might get hit.
You're going to get hit,
keep
yeah.
moving. This is a really good over here from Franklin. 2 balls to come. Just the 3 from it and the wicket from the run out.
It's going to land safely. It's shanked ever so slightly, but they're going to think about running 2s here now, aren't they? When you've just lost your skipper. I mean, it was theoretically George Adams' call, but it always looked a tight one. The ball was in the hands of Jones, almost really as she was turning.
Emma Jones has got an absolute gun arm on her as well. I definitely would not run 2 on Emma Jones's arm. No way.
Well, that is a very fine over. Run out, 4 singles in it, 120 for 4. And suddenly, 118 to win off 9 is starting to look an extremely tall order, especially with 4 top batters out. Not that far away from the bowlers. And I may yet get my wish of seeing the Shard and her long levers swinging for the hills.
Bit of a breeze picking up here, Dan.
Somewhat welcome, I would say.
Yeah.
Turning at the city end, T20 County.
The breeze is something always to take into consideration when you're batting here, because if you're hitting with the wind, it's great. If you're not hitting with the wind, so if you're batting the end that Reece Southby is now, and you're trying to send the ball over the ropes for 6, you can just hold up in the breeze.
Oh, it's gone through Capsey. It's been really well cut off by Moore, running round from deep extra cover. She had a lot of ground to make. Saves a couple of runs there. Yeah, so the wind, does it tend to come from the city end in this case, or just I suppose, over from where the ice cream van is?
That's
sort of
right,
across that
yeah.
way, yeah.
You see that the lean from the trees as
Yeah.
we look straight ahead by the big scoreboard.
Oh, you can actually see that the big tree has a sort of prevailing lean,
That's
doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Do you know what that reminds me of? You know those deeply outrageous signs that you usually find in Cotswold villages as you're driving in that say elderly people? This is spooned in the air, but it's going to land just safely. She gets away with that. There's Norgrove. Capsey close to pulling off that catch, but she had just that little bit too much ground to make. Yeah, I always dislike those. And it's got what I presume is a bloke in front of what we're imagining is his elderly wife.
Yeah, I know the exact sign that you're talking about, and I remember learning to drive, and my driving instructor always said that watch out, there are pickpockets about. He said that it looked like one person was pickpocketing
Oh, I see.
somebody else rather than their elderly people, and I am ever so gullible, so
She believed that,
I
did you?
believed him for quite a while. Yeah, lock the doors.
Now then, it's
This
gone
is that
high.
wind.
And yeah, but it's still going to make it for 4. But
I think it dropped then. I think the wind dropped.
I think he did just actually. I think in fairness to you, I think he did slightly.
I think it still had the legs to go all the way, but yeah,
Fine.
just.
Fine shot. And she went in the right direction as well, because long on his back, so she's gone up and over mid-off, who's up inside the circle.
Welcome boundary for Hampshire.
So a single to finish. 10 off the over, 130 for 4. 8 remain, 108 to win. I mean, you say you're gullible. Do you know that? I mean, the greatest example of gullibility I think I ever encountered on air was at the Oval for the last test of the summer, and was on air with Tuffers, and we were doing that thing when you get to the end of a season, you know, it's the last test match. Got any more matches left? Yes, I've got one more.
Turning at the Beckenham end, Danny Gregory.
Danny Gregory back in the attack. I said, yes, got one last game out in Canterbury. And he said, oh, it's a shame. I said, really? I don't mind Canterbury, really. He said, oh, do you? Oh, you can't do much in Canterbury, no, can you, Dan? Short and horrible to start with, and, well, easily put away. Much like Danny Gregory's first ball of her first spell, actually. Just dragged that down, and it's really pick your spot time for Norgrove. She found it a spot fine enough to the right of fine leg. Gets 4. I said, well, there's not much less to do in Canterbury than anywhere else, you know, university town. Now this has been spooned in the air and it should be taken. It is. It's another wicket goes down. Norgrove this time. Hampshire lose their 5th. And that target is looking further and further away. Wicket for Gregory. Hampshire 134 for 5.
Yeah, that pressure just mounting, even though there were back-to-back boundaries from the end of the last over to the start of this one. It's just showing that there's just a little bit of a lack of experience at the crease here. I haven't seen Lindsay Smith come out to bat yet. I would have expected to see her maybe in now. I believe this is Mary Taylor coming out to bat. So again,
out for 11 off 7 balls.
pressure on Southby.
Off the bowling of Dan
Surrey just
Gregory.
continuing to
Your next batter, Mary
pile the pressure
Taylor.
onto Hampshire here. I will say that Surrey are throwing absolutely everything at the ball in the field. They are relentless.
Yep, they're flying around, but they've got a nice healthy target to defend. So we see that again. Again, the idea is not a bad one to get it up and over the offside infield. That's where the gap is, but she just didn't time it, didn't execute, as they say, and has been sent packing. New batter Taylor starred with the ball. Need her to do likewise with the bat. She gets underway with a single. So yeah, so back to Tuff, isn't he?
Yeah.
We've got a lot to do there, Dan, is there? There's not a lot in Canterbury. Don't really, you know. So, well, I don't know. It's a fair bit. Why do you say that? So, well, you know, because I don't have any pubs or anything, do I, in Canterbury? So, don't they? No, whenever I went there, just had to stay the whole time, and I hope, oh no. It transpired that his captain, Mike Gatting, had told him that the Archbishop of Canterbury had banned all pubs and bars in order to keep Tuffers sober for a week. Oh, it's given.
Wicket.
Taylor goes, another one goes, a 6th wicket. Has no hesitation at all from the umpire. Finger went straight up, deep in the crease. Taylor goes and Gregory picks up 2 in the over. And Hampshire are now floundering at 136 for 6.
What were his bowling figures? That's what I want to know. Oh, that's plum.
It was plum, wasn't it? It was absolutely plum, and you could see why the umpire's finger went up so quickly. Just played across the line of a straight ball. Well, we did look into it, and it transpired that he did actually perform better at Canterbury than anywhere else, because he was usually in very fine fettle.
I mean, it's been a very long time since he's played cricket, and that he still believed that is quite impressive, really, isn't it?
It's marvellous.
Has he not frequented Canterbury since that game?
No, I don't think so. Well,
or if he has, he stayed in a hotel because.
Why would I go to Canterbury? There's nowhere to go and have a drink, is there?
Makes himself unavailable for any fixtures at Canterbury.
For him, it was the English equivalent of Ahmedabad, you know. I mean, he was a little bit peeved when I assured him that this wasn't actually the case. I'll get my hands on Gat. Bloody hell.
That's fantastic.
So you're not as gullible as you think you are.
No. Well, I mean, I know I don't have to take my passport to Wales or to the Isle of Wight. I'm not, you know, there are levels.
Well, that is a terrific over from Gregory. Just 6 runs from it, 2 wickets. And Hampshire now 136 for 6. Don't forget, this is a knockout tournament, so there's no net run rate, nothing of that sort. Hampshire have no choice but to swing for the hills. They need 102 from 7, which is 14.57 runs per over.
Game on. No, it's not impossible, is it? I actually, I have seen Lindsay Smith. Oh, we just have the worm in front of us. Dan, talk us through it.
Oh, sorry. Yes, well, the worm, basically, you'll be familiar with worms, and what they do is they show Surrey's innings across the top, and you see the occasional dip here and there, but it's mostly stratospheric, and you see Hampshire's worm when it's shot above Surrey's worm, despite both sides going so quickly at the start, but wickets have seen it flatten out, and they're now considerably behind where Surrey were at the same stage. Stonehouse into the attack. And, well, a brilliant diving stop from the keeper there. That is something else. I think she's just saved her team 4 runs there. Sorry, you were
fantastic.
saying.
What
I
was
got
I
distracted
saying?
by a worm.
What was I saying?
Well, you
Oh,
just
Lindsay
started.
Smith.
Yes.
No, I remember there was an England pathway a couple of days up in Loughborough a good few years ago. It must have been around 2016. And we were up there playing some T20s. And I remember Lindsay Smith scoring an insane amount of runs.
Well, it's been mightily boosted, but out towards deep mid-wicket on the bounce, it'll just be the single.
Yeah, so she can certainly score a few runs. And this is the kind of situation that you're in where you're thinking, well, actually, the pressure's off. It's a big feat. I've got an almost impossible task in front of me. So I'm just going to relax and give it a good crack. It's when you start getting into the territory a bit like Alexa Stonehouse was, and then you think, oh gosh, we could actually do this, and that's when the pressure creeps in. So, and that's 4 runs.
Well, yes, I'm not sure if it's entirely where she intended, but it is 4 and it's flown off the edge.
I feel like it's come off the shoulder of the bat there.
Yeah, let's take a look at this again.
Oh, yeah, no, it's edge, you're right.
Yeah, she's aiming in almost 180 degrees the opposite direction, but it really does not matter. At this stage, you're entitled to a bit of luck when you're chasing such an enormous target, because she will be swinging at pretty much every ball.
Yeah, and Surrey certainly had their fair share of luck in their batting innings, so it's only fair that Hampshire have theirs.
I feel that Hampshire, that Beckenham rather, is the sort of place that rewards a bit of luck. What have you spotted?
I've spotted the lesser spotted Lauren Bell in pads and sunglasses.
Oh, get in. This excites me. There's something of a tangle playing that shot, I think we can safely say. But
yeah, I feel Hampshire's intent with the bat has been very different, or their approach, I'll say, has been very different to Surrey. Surrey's were very much attacking the ball, coming and meeting the ball down the track, whereas Hampshire have been very much stuck on the crease, kind of pivoting and trying to play off the back foot. And that's not got up at all, really, but that's pulled well from Lindsay Smith out to deep mid-wicket.
Stonehouse will be very pleased with that over. Just the 6 runs from it. 96 needed from 6 overs. 16 runs and over. I don't know. You don't really break down how you go about 96 and 6. You do know that you've got to get 3 boundaries and over, and that means you've basically got to swing at everything.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those situations you're in where you're thinking we have to have a good over here. You know, if we pick up 4 or 5 boundaries in the over, you know, we can still do this. But you know, every ball that goes by that is either a dot or a 1, your chances are really, really slimming and the pressure just mounting. But as we've seen Somerset do in the 50 over competition, as we saw Surrey do here on Wednesday, nothing's impossible.
Well, I've seen some pretty insane cricket at Beckenham this summer. This is my 5th match here. No game has been simple. So I'm ruling nothing out. I'll think of a second, it's definitely not there. What is left to come? When might we see the Shard? Will she come in at 10 or might we squeeze her in at 9?
Well, we've got Freya Davies, so I think Freya probably will come in before Lauren Bell, and then Bex Tyson and Lauren Bell. I would imagine Lauren Bell will come in before Bex Tyson.
She'll go in ahead of the Typhoon. Oh, that's nicely put away. On the pads, flicked away for 4. Southby's not given this up yet.
I wonder how far on Charlotte Edwards' radar Rihanna Southby is. I think it's an interest. She certainly put her name in the hat this year. I think that her batting was one thing that was definitely holding her back. So, well, obviously Amy Jones has had a phenomenal start to the season as well, and she's scoring runs and doing really well, but she's got to be a name that's constantly in the air.
Now that's up in the air, fielder's underneath it and takes the catch. Southby goes. Commentator's curse strikes again. 7th wicket goes down. 147 for 7.
Well, that's on me.
That is on you.
I will say, I always root for Ree Southby. I've known her a very long time. Surrey teammate, but also I actually used to teach Rihanna Southby.
No.
I did.
Wow, what did you teach her?
She went to my college and I taught her sport. It was great fun. I constantly took the mickey out of her. She took it well, to be fair. But no, she is a Richmond upon Thames College alumni. So yeah, I've always felt, always got something. I'm rooting for her. You know, I've got those roots in there. So.
And so you bigged her
Want her
up.
to do well. I did.
You
Yeah.
used your Surrey power behind the mic.
Let's be honest, I knew what I was doing.
I think you did. Freya Davis strides to the wicket. We have got, 33 balls remaining, 91 to win. It's starting to get a little bit on the notional side, let's say, but Phoebe Franklin will be delighted with getting that wicket. It's not been the easiest start to the season for her, and that'll just make her feel a little bit better here. The prize at stake, a quarter-final, a tie at Guildford next week.
Well, if you think this is a good deck for runs, Guildford in its railway certainly will live up to expectations, I'm sure.
I saw Ailish Cranstone hit a marvellous 70-odd at Guildford many years back against Lancashire.
I think I was playing that game.
Caught at deep mid-wicket.
Very cold. Who, me?
No,
Ailish.
Ailish.
It was a very cold game, that.
It was cold, yes.
I remember it distinctly because I definitely, I'll admit it now, it's been enough years, nicked one off in about I think it was about the 5th delivery, and it wasn't given, and I didn't walk, and then I scored about 70.
Good for you, by the way.
Yeah, it's the...
No.
I just feel it's the umpire's decision to make.
It is, Kirstie. It is exactly that. No, I'm not having any of this walking nonsense. 6 off the over, 148 for 7. I've only ever walked once in my life.
Yeah.
And there were extenuating circumstances. I was opening the batting. Ball was quite decent. But most importantly, we were playing against the Church of England. Now, I'm not actually a spiritual man, and
I feel like I know what's coming.
I'm not a believer. But you just don't want to mess about, do you?
No, I can see...
eternal damnation, just for the sake of staying in and probably getting out the next ball anyway, wasn't worth it.
Yeah, but wouldn't you have loved to have listened to the stick you might have got from the Church of England team if you didn't walk? What would they have said?
It's the judgment of St. Peter that bothers me more.
Put him on the list. Forgive me, Father.
For I really have sinned. Yeah.
Well, I kind of have double standards because when I was a keeper, and there were many a time when a batter would have nicked off and I was standing up behind the stumps and the umpire wouldn't have given it, and I would have been absolutely livid that they basically middled it into my gloves.
No, well, that's the point of these things.
Yet
Kirstie,
I would not have walked.
No, you're
so
you're
I
allowed
do have double
that.
standards, but I'm aware of it. I'm not.
Well, look, anybody who's ever driven a car knows you have double standards.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I was being driven the other day by Henry Moran, and the expletives he was giving to every driver on the road who was just driving selfishly, trying to get their own space. 150 for 7, and then when he did exactly the same thing, and someone punked the horn, well, what have I done?
Oh yeah, yeah.
So no, we all do that. That's skewed off a thick outside edge, rolling out towards deep backward point, but there'll only be the single.
Oh, that happens to me on the way in today. I was coming out of the road and got cut up, and someone cut the corner. And I said, "Oh, just cut the corner, why don't you?" And fiance says, "Well, actually, I think it was probably a bit of your fault as well." I said, "Well, you're on my team."
Yeah, and another one goes. Another stumpy. We've seen a few of those today, and that's probably the simplest of the lot. Lindsay Smith departs.
You can't keep Kira Chatley out of the action today. She's diving, she's taking stumping, she's scoring runs, she's captaining the innings. There's nothing she can't do today.
Indeed.
Everything she touches.
Striding to the crease is one of the most fun batters to watch in world cricket.
Lindsay Smith out for 7 of 8 balls. Stumped by Kira Chatley.
Yep, this game is as good as done now, but before it is done, we may just get a little cameo. We'll get a bit of fun.
Next batter for Hampshire, Lauren Bell.
And what I really want to see is the big front foot defensive of the first ball. Takes me back to the days of Bob Willis. You're too young for him. But he used to go forward to everything. And then after she's got herself a little bit of confidence by hitting a couple somewhere near the middle with a big front foot, then just swinging the arms with gay, wild abandon.
If it's in the arc. I just loved her smile when she walked out to the middle. She just looked so happy to be walking out into the middle with her bat. Right then.
She forms a nice contrast with the keeper as well, doesn't she?
Yeah, she does.
Here we go.
Right.
Strap in.
What was the conversation with Freya, do you think?
Give me the strike. Well, if so, she's done that rather well. We'll nudge into the onside.
The obligatory look for 2, but turn it down.
Well, you're just checking that the coach.
Oh, yeah.
Coach, did you see?
Yeah. I think the chat was right. 86 to win off 25. So I'm going to hit 5 boundaries in this over.
It's nicely struck, but it'll only be the single. Another good over from Moore. 5 singles from it and a wicket. 153 for 8, so 85 needed off 4 overs. It's done, but it hasn't yet been dusted.
No, not yet. I think actually Surrey will want to bowl these girls out. I think that will be the complete performance then. So not only have they got the runs on the board, but they've backed it up by bowling the team out. I think that will be a nice way to round off the performance. As McDonald Gay comes back into the attack from the Beckenham end. Didn't have the best start to her spell. Picked up a wicket.
This is the area of the innings that you often hear quicker bowlers refer to as rabbit pie. Now, it's slightly disrespectful of the batters down the order. But what they kind of mean is, I've been clonked for 30 when the ball was new and Maya Boucher was there. I want some recompense.
This is quite often where you see the captain bring themselves onto bowl as well.
Yes. I'm not sure Chatley's going to do
no,
that.
no.
You never know.
Why do you bowl in your pads? Or actually, she doesn't keep in pads anymore. She's joined the modern era of wicket keepers.
So what, you got little shin guards or something, if that?
I don't even know if that. I think maybe. I'm trying to look actually. I think she probably has got maybe the hockey shin pads.
See, this is what I mean. That's a wonderful shot. In a minute there, she's going to play the shot she was intending, but then even come away from that halfway through. I was just trying to play the little late cut through backward point.
The thing is, when you've got levers as long as Lauren Bell, the hand speed suffers, so that the amount of time it takes you to swing your levers is longer. Particularly when the bowler bowls a slower ball and you have to wait and hold your bat.
Yep. Now, Freya Davies is a slightly different kettle of fish. Her hands can come through at an altogether more appropriate pace. That's nicely struck, but we'll pick out the fielder at a very straight deep mid. Cow corner, that, isn't it? We're calling that.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you know where they say cow corner was invented? Have I talked to you about this before?
No, I don't think you've spoken to me directly. I do think I've probably heard you talk about it.
Well, they say that it was invented at Dulwich College because it used to be where the cows grazed. And I always thought there was something slightly wonky in that because, of course, depends which end you're bowling from, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Unless the cows simply were placed on both sides.
Yeah, I always just thought it referred to agricultural batting. Oh, well played, Lauren Bell. She's got that bat down. She's almost stopped that ball. Killed it.
Stone dead.
Yes, literally. She's just killed it.
Let's see, was that
Watched
zero
it
in?
all.
Oh, yes, it
that's
was.
Very well played. Bravo, Lauren Bell.
Yep.
I think McDonald Gay's thinking you had absolutely no right to stop that clattering through the wickets.
If you want someone to bat for your life. Oh, now, struck this. And she might get 4 for it. It's going to skip away.
That's exactly what you came for.
That was exactly what I came for. That was the shot that I'd, if you like, envisioned before I arrived here.
She's done really well there because there's a slower ball out the back of the hand, I think, or it's even a cutter. So she's almost halfway through her swing before the ball's reached her, so she's just had to delay, and to get that up and over mid-off and send it for 4, she's done a great job.
That's good use of the bottom hand, isn't it, I guess? 78 needed off 18, so we're now at well over 4 a ball required, so I'm not quite sure what the chat will be. There is chat. I can confirm that.
At the city end, Alexa Stonehouse.
You expect to see lots of cutters and slower balls here from Stonehouse coming round the wicket, so change of angle, same as her previous over.
Do we know who Surrey will be playing in the next round of the quarter-final next week?
Oh, I think I do, but
Do you?
it's evaded my brain. Bear with me.
Swing and a miss from Bell. Full and straight might be the order of the day here for Stonehouse.
Can't find it. Sorry, but I thought it was back here at Beckenham actually, so to know that it's at Guildford and it's turned my 2-hour journey to a 50-minute journey is... oh.
Well, our producer Jake said it was at Guildford, so I need to double check with him.
Don't fail me, Jake.
Another single for Bell, as we're getting very close to it being never technically impossible, because just to remind our watchers, there's no such thing as a maximum in cricket, but it's Friday at Guildford, we've been told. Oh no, says Kirstie, you can't do it.
It's big GCSE exam day.
Oh no. That's been clattered out towards deep mid-wicket, but again, it won't find the boundary. So 12 sixes, a 2 and a single required now.
I nearly called her Lauren Shard then. Lauren Bell. Lauren Bell is striking at 100. Now you take that for your number 10.
Right, that's been slapped away. But again, well, it will reach the boundary on this occasion, but the effort that's been put in by Surrey's fielders, even though there really is, at this point, I mean, there's always a need, isn't there? There's professional pride and whatnot, but it's going to make no material difference to the game.
Yeah, I'm not sure Charlotte Edwards will be too impressed with Paige Schofield throwing herself to try and stop that delivery when she's going to be joining up with the England girls a bit later on after this game.
Just one more to the total, so end of the over, 8 from it, 35 needed per over with 2 overs to go. I think you can do the maths. 11 sixes, 1 4.
That's quick maths, that. Yeah, so we have been informed that actually the next round of the County Cup next week will be Friday at Guildford, a weekday, not a Saturday at Beckenham. Friday at Guildford.
I don't know the reasons why.
Nope.
Don't at me. As you see the scorecard there, dominated by Boucher, 59 off 23. When she was going well, anything seemed possible. 32 from Southby, but no other significant contribution. The bowling figures, a couple of wickets apiece for Gregory and for Moore, and the other wickets spread around as Bell just pushes this into the offside. And now it'll take more than 6s to win the game. So will you be invigilating this exam?
Hopefully not. But I'll be available if needed.
What, for us?
No.
Oh, boo.
For any invigilation needs or exam access.
So can you watch us while you're doing that?
I certainly cannot.
What?
I would be hung, drawn and quartered if JCQ found out that kind of activity was going on in an exam.
Well, we really are in the last rites here. Hampshire know they've lost. Surrey know they've won. It's just a matter of completing contractual obligations. I'm very sorry to hear that. Well, hopefully you can catch up on the highlights.
We'll see what time, I was going to call it kick-off then, and we'll see what time the game starts. If it's an afternoon game, I might just have to pop in on my way home. There's a big appeal down from deep extra cover. The only appeal on the field.
Yes, but do you know what? That I know an umpire back in the day called Ray Julian, who, looking at this match situation, would have said, "Yeah, that's good enough for me. You're on your bike."
I would often appeal from square leg. I think you can still pick up the line from square leg.
Bell goes for a big one, and it sort of trickles out to deep extra cover, really. I agree with you. You can tell by a little bit from the body shape, can't you? I mean, we're happy to do that from here.
Well, that's it. We're experts.
Wide signalled.
If Lauren Bell scores 4 more runs, she'll be the 3rd highest run scorer in this game for Hampshire.
Well, that's something to keep our eyes on. Surrey played Durham. Surrey played Durham in the next round. Hypercourse has been in touch. We can pretty much confirm that now. 173 for 8, 65 runs still required. Only 6 balls left, so it will be Surrey against Durham at Guildford next week. I think 2:30 was probably the time, but we will confirm all that as you see the worms began to diverge around the 7th over, and Hampshire have never been able to get that worm back on track.
Durham have done some miles then in the last 2 weeks. They're at Sidmouth, no sorry not Sidmouth, they were at Exmouth Cricket Club yesterday playing Somerset, where they went to a super over and won. I think Bess Heath hit the winning runs in that game, and then they're back down south next week at Guildford. So plenty of miles, not a journey for those with a long bad back.
That is you're right. I mean, that is 2 massive journeys, isn't it? Last over of the day, McDonald gave a bowl it. Nice crunching shot down the ground will bring a single, brings Lauren Bell back on strike. She's on 14 here.
So 4 needed to be 3rd leading run scorer today for Hampshire.
And all of you with little faith can take that information.
Yeah, so
mull.
I think there's a 4 through if she beats backward point and a very square cover. She's got 4 there.
Well, there's a straight slap down the ground. They've got to run 2 here. Get her back on strike. Yep. Davis comes back. They pick up 2. Bell to 16. I wonder what our highest score in T20s is.
That's a good question. How would one find that? Wow, freaking I'll get rid of my salt and pepper chips recipe.
Bowler off stump. Another one goes. This time it's Bell. It was fun while it lasted. She goes for 16 and Hampshire 176 for 9 means all 11 Hampshire batters will get a chance to sample the delights of this Beckenham pitch. And do we know where that stands in her...
I'm just going to look for you now.
Yes, 16. It feels like she wouldn't have had too many opportunities to bat.
Lauren Bell,
you wouldn't have thought.
Anna McDonald gave for 16 off 13 balls.
No, I'm not really finding it. I've got international and I've got WBL and I've got the 100. I can't see domestic. suppose WBBL we can look at. 4 not out, looks like.
Let's get Hypercourse on the case. Is that Lauren Bell's highest score in any form of cricket? 176 for 9, 2 balls remain, and with the game in the bag, I suppose it's time for us to reflect a little bit on Surrey's performance here. It just started with such dynamism from Kira Chatley, a thrilling power play, and in concert with Alice Capsey. I mean, we were watching cricket there, the like of which I've seldom seen anywhere. 141 off the first 10 overs. It was extraordinary to watch. And from that point on, it was Surrey's game to lose, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think if you were a marketing team and you were going to try and sell cricket to a brand or another country, and you were going to say, right, this is why you should watch cricket, this is why you should play cricket, I think you'd just probably put on Kira Chatley and Alice Capsey's innings, and the rest is done.
As this game now is, and it ends with a boundary, and that's been pretty much the story of today. Runs galore, 180 scored by Hampshire. We said that was par at the start of the day. The problem for Hampshire was that Surrey scored 237. 417 runs have been scored today. We've seen some thrilling batting from the likes of Bouchier and Capsey and from Kira Chatley. And to me at least, Lauren Bell at the back end of that innings. But joking aside, it's been a dominant performance from Surrey. To a degree, you know, Surrey will not have wanted to bat first. They've come to the conclusion that it's better to chase here at Beckenham, because the sky's the limit really for how many runs you can score. So that meant they had to be brave, and they really were, weren't they? I mean, they just went so hard at it, and you think the players they're missing, Danny Wyatt-Hodge, Sophia Dunkley, you take them out and they're still then scoring the highest score in this tournament, the highest score we've seen by a women's T20 side outside of an international, and than Somerset against Wales.
Yeah, I think, yeah, you've hit the nail on the head there, Dan. Probably now at Beckenham they'd look to bat second and chase. When the news came in from the toss, I did hear a little bit of a woo that they were batting first, so they clearly felt indifferent again, and that it's a good deck here. I think my only takeaway, if you're going to be really critical of Surrey's performance, knowing that you're about to lose Paige Schofield and you're going to lose Alice Capsey, is that the bulk of the runs came from Kira Chatley and a cameo from Alice Davison-Richards. So not a concern as such, but you're thinking, actually we really want those middle order batters to start firing. So, you know, moving on to the next game at Guildford on Friday, there's going to be a bit of pressure on those batters to ensure that they can fill the gaps that Alice Capsey is going to leave with the bat.
Yep, but that is for Friday. Surrey have made it through to the quarter-final, the knockout stage. If they win on Friday, then it's finals day in Taunton, I believe. That's it from us today. There's more Surrey live stream action, and in concert with Sky Sports Cricket, taking place right now and tomorrow and Monday, if the game goes that far, with Surrey taking on Yorkshire. We'll be back with 2 live streams next Friday as Surrey's men take on Essex in the County Championship. And now confirmed after this victory, as you can see from that scorecard, that win by 57 runs, those terrific performances from Chatley and Capsey, both striking at the best part of 200. They won by 57. They will play Durham in the quarterfinal at Guildford next week. I hope you can join us on either or both streams. If you've got 2 screens, just put us both on. But until then, from Kirstie White and from myself, Daniel Norcross, thank you for joining us. See you soon.